Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. Guys, it has been a while since I've gone live. I ended up going to the Robinhood Summit. So not only was I away for the entire weekend on a little bit of a vacation, which rounding about that time I did not want to do at all because the markets were very excitable and there were a lot of things that I wanted to cover, but my girlfriend would have disowned me if I did not go. So we went. And then right after that, the Hood Summit. So I've been away for some time. Now, in order to make up for this absence, I have decided to go live an hour early because we might need it. I've done so with preparation of covering many different topics. We have SoFi to go to talk about. Very good news there. Robinhood to talk about, both good and potentially bad. A lot of people bringing this up that they might have seen some pretty particular interesting data that might be pulling down people's hopes for Q3. And then other information that I also want to go over about for the Robinhood Summit, more opinion based on what I think about Robinhood Social and all the other products that they ended up talking about. If you guys didn't watch the event, if you're not close enough to that name, I really do want to highlight some of their new products because I think out of the businesses that we cover, they might be one of the fastest moving out of any of them. Okay, we've got BMNR news to cover. We have CoreWeave. We have NVIDIA like crazy. Meta stuff, Oracle. What else? We just have so much stuff that I want to go over. Tesla, that's another big one. Nubank, lots of stuff. Okay, so buckle in. I'm going to do my best to keep chapters, but, you know, we will see. And Kelly's in chat. Kelly's just made a reappearance over the last few days. Seen her on X. Now I see her in chat. She's been gone for a little bit. Welcome back, Kelly. Good to see you. Okay. Let's get into the news. BMNR doing great. Bob, you're so right. Aren't we happy that we went bullish on this name? I mean, I think that they have a lot more to go. I actually see some people writing covered calls. The premiums are so unbelievably high, but I think that that's one of those names that is primed to pop so quickly that I don't really want to be limiting my upside. You know, there's a lot of names that I consider being great growers and that they will just continuously see linear levels of growth. And you want to be attached to those names, but you also want to take advantage of other people's optimism. I'm sure people thought that about Oracle and then got quickly burnt. But overall, BMNR is not one of those names. First up, let's talk about Robinhood, the Robinhood Summit, and then we will get into their monthly data. Like I said, guys, we have so much to cover. I'm going to start showing off their actual enter the mainframe video, the keynote that they ended up doing. And I'll actually show you. I think someone ended up pointing out that I am on video at some point. They sent me the, let's see the time. Okay. You should be able to see me and Amit here. Let's see. I don't know if I could spot Roy. Yes, you can. Okay, cool. You can see Roy here as well. So weren't seated too close. We were late to the event, so we showed up all the way in the back corner. That's my smug little face there. That's Roy right there. And then Amit's just placed just behind.
Yeah, we have about twice as many people.
Just behind this guy's head, but you'll see him pop up again whenever we talk about one of the products. But yeah, we were back there, just big chilling. It was such a great time seeing all of you guys. There were many of you guys there that obviously watched the channel, and we took a bunch of photos and stuff. So you could see it on X. Some of the people that we met. It was unbelievable. If you guys are one of those people, thank you so much for coming up, saying hi, sharing the love, and a lot of people made an absolute fortune on SoFi. So that was great to hear. But whenever it comes to
Twice.
The actual event, that starts at 37.18. Let's go ahead and get started with one of the first products. which is multiple individual accounts. Sorry, this thing is being buggy. Okay, there we go. Ready? Let's take a listen.
You got a minute. What do you got?
Awesome. Thanks, Q. I'm really excited to share this one with you guys, and I'll do my best to keep it silky smooth for you. So last year, when we were walking around Hood Summit, one of the things that we kept hearing from folks was that everyone wanted the ability to create and customize multiple investing accounts. You wanted accounts to be able to separately track different strategies, separate out assets, or even just be able to earn interest and use margin at the same time. So we decided to do something about it. Here's how it works. All you have to do in the Robinhood app is pull down and scroll over to the plus icon to see the account types that we currently offer. Pick the one you want. Decide how you want to invest on your own or with Robinhood strategies. Choose a name. Review some agreements.
You can hear people catching on. Why would you need to choose a name if you only had one account?
And that's it. You're in. From there, you can transfer stocks or funds from your other Robinhood accounts or from your outside accounts. Plus, your gold benefits like 4% APY and instant deposits work seamlessly across the accounts that you create, and you can customize the order of your accounts that works best for you inside the Robinhood app.
Just a small thing there. I'm pretty sure, maybe it's corrected now, people could keep me honest here, but that SoFi does not have that availability. That they have, you can add different accounts, but you cannot organize them in the way that you would want for different vaulted accounts, which just makes people upset. So let me know if they've changed that, but I remember hearing that before, that just small things, these quality of life updates that Robinhood cares so much about, organizing different accounts so you can put your, long-term stuff all the way down at the bottom because you don't want to touch it, you don't want to see it. And then, the daily stuff that you might want to deal in, a little bit of fun trading, that stuff can go right to the top. But let's continue on to 40 minutes here where we get into the next product.
We all know simulated returns on mobile. And today we're taking it up a gear on Legend so you can see how your options play out across price, time, and now volatility. Let's take a look. All right, let's work with a call debit.
Dookie says your title is fear-mongering at best, Tanner. You don't even know the news that I'm going to talk about, Dookie. Let's hear what you think that I'm going to cover, and then you tell me. You guys don't even know what I'm going to bring up. You probably haven't even read it yet. Okay? Chill. Chill on the title. I promise you, it is getting investors upset for people who have read it.
Spread on SPY, one of our most traded underlyings. The order form shows us max profit and loss, but how does this do under different conditions? Check out the new simulated returns panel, inspired by mobile, built for the big screen. We can scrub to see P&L and Greek's update, or freeze to stress test time. Ooh, nice. Legend goes further. Now we can simulate volatility. Think a tweet moves markets? Let's dial IV up. Okay. Think it's overblown? Dial it back down. Either way, the power to forecast volatility is now in your hands. Want a different risk reward? We can change the strikes right in the order form with intact. Same strategy tuned in seconds.
It's actually super beautiful, by the way, this product. I think this is unbelievable. Too many people use multiple apps and they have different spreadsheets and different calculators and option simulators and everything. They want to bring that all into one app. So although your percentage gains and keeping score of all of that for covered calls and different options plays is done on separate spreadsheets. I even spoke with a lot of people at Robinhood. They want to include that all on the Robinhood app. So eventually this will be a one-stop shop. But yeah. All right. Next one we have is at 41. I don't care to go through all of this. This is Danica. She is sort of the head of options at Robinhood, and we spent a long time talking with her. She's unbelievably brilliant and the right person for the job. But let's hear what she has to say on what they've been working on.
Take some trader participation. Over 2 years ago, we pioneered 24/5 equities trading, letting you trade stocks and ETFs 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. We expanded that to futures, then to event contracts, and of course, crypto has always been 24/7. So what's missing? I hear, that's right, options. Before the end of this year,
now, one thing I'll say, whenever they said overnight options, the people around me were like, oh my God. And then it popped up, it said overnight index options. And I heard a bunch of, oh. So it was a little different. But index options are actually still an unbelievably massive product. It's not as big with retail investors, but it is definitely growing, especially now that, you know, one of the largest brokerages for retail, Robinhood, is now adding it. That usually creates a market, right? Covered call strategies and options in general for retail before Robinhood got into options was not that big. And then, you know, they're the company that made that market move. So this could be another one where index options, which very, very few, I'm talking 2 or 3 companies at most, offer extended hours on index options for retail. Okay. So the markets are a little bit illiquid, but with Robinhood playing in this field now, you could see a lot of liquidity being added, considering they are bringing over essentially 27 million customers. Let's take a listen.
before the end of this year, we'll begin rolling out extended hours for index options, with overnight index options trading coming early next year. We are thrilled to take the next big step in giving you the freedom to trade whenever the opportunity strikes. That's it from me, Q.
Easy, simple, but very, very interesting whenever it comes to how many new customers they're going to add for this, and then also what it means for revenue. Also, let's also remember that index options are a paid-for product. It's not free because the actual take rate for Robinhood side is much lower, so they have to fill that gap with, you know, an actual premium that they slap on top of index options. But there's a different take that they have for gold versus non-gold. Non-gold costs a lot more. So my indication is that the index options for overnight is not only going to bring on new users, but also potentially have a high rate of those new users converting to gold, meaning they get an extra $5 a month. And then those users are high, like they have a very high chance of converting over to a checking account on Robinhood Banking whenever that happens, or a credit card for the Robinhood Gold card. These sort of things that, you know, if you're already paying for the service, you might as well take advantage of its full benefits. Let's get into the next one. I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty interesting.
We started with equities and options. Since then, we've expanded to index options and crypto. But one thing's been missing. That's right. We've heard you loud and clear. Futures is coming to Legend. All right, let's take it for a spin. So I just opened up search. You'll see this brand new future section. I'm going to pull up the micro S&P future here. And my chart has already been set up with some of my favorite indicators. And as a couple of futures traders here, we know that speed and precision is extremely important. And with Legend charts, you can easily get in, adjust, and get out, all just with a few clicks. And remember, futures market data and all the charting on Legend come at no additional cost. There you go. I just went from charting to trading in less than a minute. Best of all, futures on Legend will start rolling out today. How did I do?
Couple clicks and Robinhood makes some money. Maybe the user makes some money. It's up to you guys if you want to use this product. But once again, Legend is starting to really step up, where it used to be a product that, you know, a lot of people didn't like. They are climbing in the amount of not only indicators that they brought over, and then we can get into Cortex and, you know, all that they end up bringing over, which I think will be probably the biggest differentiator. But this could be one of the largest desktop platforms. Obviously, they had a rocky start because they sort of, put out a half-baked product, but it's starting to fill out, and people are getting very, very excited. So love futures on Legend. I'm a big believer that future or Legend will become, just as popular as mobile. It's just a matter of time to bring over some of those users. And a lot of the UI problems that people have and the different things for the reason why like Amit doesn't use it whenever he's live on stream, stuff like this, they were talking about how they can change it to, potentially, like right now they don't separate between hours and extended hours. The reason why they said that was they believe that the future is going to come where overnight hours, like there's no such thing as extended hours or overnight hours. It's just, here's the daily chart, right? So they have it priced because they don't want people to seem like there's an 8-hour period and then this is something different. It should just be one market. So that's why they have it separated like that. But they're talking about potentially having a toggle where, you have the default Robinhood setting of treating it like it's 24-hour, or you can be a little bit more old school and have it separated between the time zones of, the day, after hours, and then overnight, which for people who have been trading for a little bit is a little bit easier to get into the flow of things than rather just having one pricing, like 1% change. Okay, let's get into another one that I think is very cool. This one, I think, actually won the popularity contest for which people were most excited about, but let's have a listen.
Launching futures on Legend, we are going to be bringing a powerful new trading tool to our Legend users. Starting today, we will be rolling out a new widget in Legend for the ladder, giving our traders a tool to act with speed and confidence. But there's a twist. Also starting today, the ladder will begin supporting both equities and crypto within Legend, expanding asset classes within one powerful tool. And of course, we'll also be rolling out in mobile before the end of year. Let me show you how it works. I'm going to go ahead and add the ladder widget to my layout here. And instantly, I am seeing the live order book flow in. But the power of the ladder is really how quickly you can move in and out of positions. In just one click, I'm in my order. Fast, fluid, and built for speed. But we did not stop there. We know our traders are often using Legend and mobile together, especially when markets are moving quickly. So we are also building a new feature that will be launched by end of year, and it's going to allow you to use your mobile app as another screen linked to your Legend layout. I can start a link session by clicking this icon up top, and immediately you see the ladder is pulled up in the app, staying in sync, allowing me to keep an eye on my Legend charts as I trade within the ladder.
How crazy is that? I think that's so freaking exciting. You're walking around, you need to, like, for day traders that take this extremely seriously, if you are trading on your dashboard and then you need to step away really quickly or just have another screen to look at, maybe you're not in front of 6 monitors and you need a ladder here and different pieces of information here. I know maybe my audience is not super heavily into day trading, but the active trader market is the area where Robinhood has that 80-20 effect, okay? 20% of their users are making up for 80% of their profits. If you're talking about products that move the needle, this is a huge one. This is going to keep people engaged and make sure that Robinhood Legend is the main dashboard that they use rather than other services. They're trying to compete with the trading views of the world, many other services that they use for daily active trading. This is another really cool aspect. I think that this is going to be a big deal.
In the app. And as I update what I'm looking at, everything stays in sync, giving our traders the tools they need to have control and trade how they want. Back to you, Q.
Let's get to the next one. And this one, tell me if you guys notice anything. I tweeted it out. So if you guys follow on X, you probably already know what happened, but this was pretty interesting. Let me know if you see what is happening.
What do you got for us, Balaji?
Thanks, Q. So, Gina just showed us the futures ladder, but she didn't show you the equities ladder. So I'm going to show it to you right now, and I want you to tell me if you can see what I think is missing here. Does anything look off? I'll even make it a little bit easier and we'll zoom in a little bit. Just shout it out. Yes, I see it. I hear that from the audience here. The sell button is grayed out because this account doesn't hold any positions. There's nothing for us to sell. But what if you're feeling bearish or you want to hedge the broader market? I think you deserve access to the same tools institutions use every single day to act on these kinds of views. These tools give access to all sorts of strategies, like pairs trading, and these strategies are only more valuable in volatile markets. So Q, here's what I've been working on. Introducing shorting on Robinhood.
First of all, this is another, this was probably the thing I was most excited about, okay? If you're talking about total, what is going to bring in more money, having more options, and there's, very active dynamic traders that want to take both sides of the market. They want to buy whenever there's opportunity. They want to short whenever there's opportunity for that. All of it should bring in more revenue to Robinhood, okay? Now, some people, I see a lot of comments from people in the chat who are very SoFi based and they understand, or they don't like the degen behavior. Robinhood is not giving retail investors new tools that they haven't had before. Anyone can go to Schwab or Fidelity or any other service like this that's available to regular customers and get access to tons of leverage, shorting, futures, every new product that could lead to exponential loss, okay? So Robinhood's not adding anything new to the market. They're just bringing it to their platform with their beautiful design, okay? They're giving the tools and saying, you choose what you want to do. You guys are adults, okay? They're not telling you or promoting any of these tools. They're just putting them in to allow people that do want to use this, okay? If you're a stockholder of DraftKings or any of these other things, it's no different. I mean, that's even way more dangerous than the things that Robinhood is doing. I've got no problems with letting adults want to do what they want to do with their own money, okay? As long as there's disclaimers say, hey, you know what? Shorting has a way bigger way to lose money than going long. Your risk, but here are some information if you want to continue reading, perfectly fine. This will bring in more money for Robinhood and bring on the more active traders than what they've had previously. Now, if we go back and I said, did anyone notice what had happened? Now, this is a little small, but you might be able to make out the lettering here. The company that they were talking about and saying they don't have any shares and they're feeling a little bullish about or bearish about was SoFi. They shorted SoFi.
I'll even make it a little bit easier and we'll zoom in a little bit. Just shout it out.
Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. They shorted SoFi. Now, to some extent, people said, Anthony Noto drew the first blood because he said Robinhood needs to stay in their lane and, stuff like this. But still, this was pretty interesting. I think that it actually lights a fire under SoFi. Anthony Noto's never lost a thing in his life, and he's just a general winner and super, super competitive. So I love the fact that that this is happening, and obviously it didn't have any effect on SoFi. We just had the largest daily close and largest weekly close that SoFi has ever seen, okay? The 28-something price that we saw whenever you see the all-time high was an intraday move. This was, for SoFi, the largest weekly close today. So this had no effect, but still, gotta love a little bit of friendly competition.
Yes, I see it.
So they also talked about pushing out new products and seeing what people were asking for. Dividend Tracker, by far, still showing that there is a bunch of people who are not as active of investors as what, Robinhood just caters to. What they found is that the daily the day traders, the super active traders, are actually the very small minority, but they make up for such a large percentage of the earnings. Dividends definitely do not make a lot of money for Robinhood, but they don't want those people leaving either. They can have large retirement accounts, and they still want to give tools to those people. So things like dividend trackers, portfolio comparisons, advanced order types, those types of things, especially now for advanced order types, because they have shorting, there's different order types where allow you to go long and short at a similar time, and benefit off that. And just one order type to allow these types of complex moves would be very great for those very active customers. Legends hotkeys, who cares? That, one day. Okay. And then Sarun came up and talked about Cortex. This was by far the coolest. Custom indicators that would allow you to type into a chat box and say, hey, show me the local tops, show me, golden crosses, death crosses, create those, indicators on the stocks that you end up looking at. And then not only that, they took it one step further, which I think was probably my favorite feature that, like, personally I would use a lot, was custom scans. Okay. Not just saying, hey, show me the companies that are growing north of 25% revenue growth and are, under their 50-day moving average. I mean, obviously those types of things exist, but things that they even said, Vlad wanted to see a chart. Let's see here. I think it was here.
All right. We saw a breakout. All right. In summary, you'll soon be able to build custom indicators. Breakout.
Maybe I had passed it, but he had asked for
high liquidity only.
He had asked for a scan of companies with CEOs that deadlift. Okay. And I asked Arun about this, and he said, well, he believed that there were articles that were written about a certain level of fitness from CEOs and how that correlates with stock performance, and that the Cortex, AI bot was finding that information online and then using that data to create the list of all the CEOs that quote unquote deadlift, which I thought was quite interesting. And the list seemed shorter than I would have imagined. I thought of some pretty, fit CEOs that were not on there, but also of the CEOs that they did find, I would say were all quite fit individuals. But stuff like that, I think, is super interesting for finding information that might not be super readily available. So super interesting about the Cortex stuff, only exclusive to Robinhood Gold users. That could also find some cross-sell for them as well. And it looks like cross-sell is picking up in their monthly data, which is where we are going to turn to now. And then maybe later we can talk about Hood Social, because, well, I think it's cool. And I think that it could increase the stickiness of users. I think there's some people thinking that it's going to pull people away from X, and more people are going to stay on Robinhood rather than a blanket news source. I just cannot see happening. I mean, there's too many opinions that I think people want to share, and I don't think that Robinhood Social will be used as frequently as what people think. Not only has eToro and Webull and SoFi and all of these companies have tried social platforms before. I mean, SoFi has its own social platform. No one uses this stuff. I mean, maybe you have a small friends list or something like this, or a few people that you follow that you're interested in their trading, but that's not the reason for why people are going to SoFi or sticking around or anything along those lines. This is a little bit different. I love the ability to share and have almost like a verified, like a blockchain ability to say, hey, I made this trade. These are the amount of dollars that are backing it. And you can click through to this link and Robinhood will prove via KYC that it's me, it's my money, and it's my trade. And it happened at this date and ended at this date. And that was the full, you can see my percentages. That's cool. Okay. I like having a verifiable way of seeing trades. But I don't know if people are going to go to Robinhood Social as often as, what people think. And from what I see, a lot of the times people point out, oh, well, everyone's got all these Discords and everyone has Patreons and savvy trader stuff like this. So they are going to go over to Robinhood Social. All of those people are charging. Okay. They have a monetary incentive to like day traders and stuff like this to show off their trades. What's the reasoning for them to go over to or Robinhood Social? So I had teased the idea of like, hey, could there be a monetization part of Robinhood Social? Maybe if people want to show it off for free, that's great, but it should also be, their prerogative to monetize it if that's what they want to do, while still being backed by real data. So there's a lot of conflict there. They're a very heavily regulated business, but it is something that they are definitely thinking about. Who knows? Tanner, I beg to differ. I use Moomoo in the chat as something which keeps me on the app a lot to interact with the community. Rach, you and 20 people. I mean, the Moomoo community, who's the biggest follower on Moomoo? I think I saw this. I think he has like 40,000 followers. It's nothing. It's nothing. You can look to other social networks or StockTwits or something like this, and even those I don't really think are that big of a deal. And that's like the biggest example. So I think it'll be used like a verifiable blockchain, and maybe that brings people over. There might be a way for them to bring out a type of product like Copy Trader, where you can buy people's positions. Now they have that in terms of like, I can go in and say, hey, I just bought NVIDIA, and then there will be a buy button to say, okay, well, I'll also buy NVIDIA. That's fine. But that doesn't really follow me in the way that if I say, hey, I sell, do you get notified that I'm out? Do you get a notification of the weighting of my entire portfolio? They have whale tracking and stuff like this, Pelosi tracker, all this stuff. But can you say, hey, I want to buy the Pelosi portfolio? Not currently. In fact, they don't even have a way. They said at the time that it gets posted, you can only post trades. You can post trades and then comments, but you can't just say, something that you would prefer to say. And personally, for me, I don't just want to see stocks at 100% of the time. Okay. I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same, because I don't just talk stocks here. We'll talk about how the event was, personal stuff, like we mix in a little bit of other life events here, because it adds a little bit of entertainment to something that is just pure numbers and, charts and stuff like this. So, I think it could be big, but I'm not getting my hopes up like crazy. I think that X will remain the place where people get their financial information, while also being able to see it like, all the Charlie Kirk news that ended up coming up. What if someone is to post about that on Robinhood Social? Is that even allowed? Are they going to take down people for sharing other stuff that's not directly related to stock information? Like, how do you even monitor that type of thing? So, who knows? Now, on to the monthly numbers that they ended up showing off, which was it was good and bad. And I'm going to show you guys and the metrics that people are pointing to that are getting people a little bit confused, which we'll highlight here. Robinhood's monthly funded customers ended up not growing, actually declining by 10,000 month over month, while still adding 2.4 million year over year. That was the initial statistic that people pointed to. Now, what people might not know, I don't know if they did write it in here or not, but I ended up talking with one of the people in management. They actually said this was due to an escheatment rule, which was the same thing that happened to SoFi, that if accounts are sitting completely inactive, that can't happen. So either you charge them to keep their account active, so then they have a certain amount of revenue behind that account, or you delete their account. For Robinhood, it was something along the lines of, small not unfunded, but like low balance customers that were not using the platform. I think it was about 150,000 or so. Okay. That they ended up deleting off the platform. That's the reason for the small miss or decline here. but it was enough where people were a little bit concerned about what they saw in the data. Okay. Next, we saw a bump up in total platform assets, but not nearly what we saw from June. Okay. August was, I think, a month that people were concerned about, but it actually turned out to be quite good. And I think September could also be that, where people were more concerned at the start of September. Now it's actually looking like it might finish out positive once again. People's hopes are getting quite positive again. Looks like a rate cut is almost guaranteed this month. So things could actually turn around quite quickly. But people are wondering how this data is going to stack up. Now, another interesting part is the data in the cash balance. The rates on Robinhood Gold cash sweep increased, where the cash sweep on Robinhood non-gold decreased. What does that mean to me? Well, that means that a higher percentage of the users that they have on their platform have converted to gold. So it's not that the gold members have brought on more and the non-gold have not. It's just that a lot of the non-gold users have put themselves into the other category. They've switched sides, which is a really good sign. If that's happening at a faster rate, that's a plus. Okay. Net deposits was positive, but at a lower percentage, 19%, a miss on Wall Street from what they were expecting, 4.8 billion, but they were expecting more this quarter. So this is why I mean that the market was a little bit iffy on the data that they ended up showing for August monthly metrics. Equities ended up showing a slightly lower rate than what we saw from July, which was a very, very hot month. So that's, to be perfectly expected. Options contracts were just insane, tying out what we saw from last month as well, meaning that the data that I ended up showing before, I'll bring up my spreadsheet here in a second, but whenever we try to figure out, okay, what's going to happen in Q3, you take the amount of data that you have and you try to average it out for the rest of the month. So now, or for the rest of the quarter. So now we have 2 months out of the possible 3. What I'm going to do is take the 2 months that we have, add them together, and then add an additional 50% to make out for the 3 months. And then, that's how we get sort of an average. Now, that's assuming that equities comes in next month at around 205, something like this, or 204. That's, maybe that happens. Maybe it comes in a little bit lower, or it could potentially come in higher. So it's only an estimate. I can't, falsely create data I don't have. But yeah, overall, the trading data looked all right. Margins continue to climb, 12.5 billion. They're growing super fast. They're the best priced, margin essentially in the market today. So unless you have extremely, extremely high levels of, assets under management at different brokerages. But yeah. iPhone 17 pre-orders are breaking records. Is this data just came out? That could be interesting. That could be very interesting. It's not that they gained 10,000. They lost 10,000 accounts. They actually lost like 150,000. But that sort of says, okay, well, maybe, if they lost 150,000, they only lost 10,000. Maybe they added 140,000 new fresh accounts. So you kind of have to balance that out, right? Yeah. But still, if they're all super low funded balance accounts, people are not using they're not using the product. They're not, trading. Do you even want them on the platform? I mean, that hurts average revenue per user. That hurts, average balances, all of these things that Wall Street can look at and say, okay, well, where does this go from here? You get those people off the platform, it probably actually makes the individual metrics look much better. The 17 Air. Guys, the 17 Air for Apple, who's buying that? Like, there's 600 of you guys. Probably 80% of you guys are Apple users. Who is getting the Air? Out of all the complaints that people have had about iPhone, was it being too thick the concern? I would not say that the thickness of the iPhone has been my concern. And if it was thinner and just a little bit cooler for the same level of performance or pricing, I would be so for it. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm the guy with the thin phone. It's fun, whatever. Just don't sit on it with your back pocket or you're going to bend it into a U, which is going to be a thing. But it's not innovation. It's not innovation. They took away a bunch of features and then charged just as much as the Pro version. And now whatever. I mean, it's not going to hurt them. But I just think what a decision. I think very few people are going to buy it, and I think that the people who are going to be people who are fashion sensitive, stuff like this. Like they're going to do it for status or to be different. But really, you're getting a worse iPhone for more money. And I actually thought the iPhone 17 was nice. Like, there was a horizontal front-facing camera sensor that I think will become the global standard. I think that this will be in every phone going forward. Essentially, it's going to take the vertical image. So you're going to take a selfie or whatever, and then it's going to pop up like this, or you could sort of zoom out, and what it really took was a landscape photo, a much wider image. And yeah. It's almost like the live photo. Like if you just wanted a photo, that's fine. But if you wanted to make it a little bit lively, it also recorded that. But you're only going to get that if you want it. You can still just have an image. So it just gives you more data. Yes, you're going to need a lot more data as well, a lot more storage, because the storage is going to fill up more pixels, more data, more storage. So less photos can be put on your phone now, but still very good. But orange, I think the orange is sick. I've got no problems with the orange. I have no problems with the orange phone at all. People can say what they want. I like fun colors on phones. Yeah. I think whenever you're talking about putting colors on things, that you lose, like the day that Keurig started putting out the Keurig color and stuff like that, it's like a big sign that the innovation is slowing at those businesses. They don't know what to work on, so might as well make 6 of the same thing. But iPhone's been in that phase for a long time now. So the color is, whatever. Keep doing you. But yeah. I hate the new camera bar. I actually like it. I think that it'll take some getting used to, but I always hated, even with my phone, it's like you set it down and then it's like wobbles because it's not flat on the bottom. That's why I've always liked the Pixel, because it's a cross. So although it sits like this, it doesn't wobble. It just sits flat. So now the iPhone's going to sit flat rather than just have like a corner that's higher than the rest and it just like wobbles. So Apple hasn't innovated in years. Yeah, I mean, I think I also spoke with an Apple employee for a long time at the event, and he was pretty excited, still thinks they're going to be a giant, and brought up a lot of really interesting cases. Like, for example, if they start getting into AR glasses and stuff like this, he had highlighted a pretty cool thing that I was really interested in, where he goes, Meta, the entire technology of the Meta glasses has to be stored in the glasses, which means all the AI and the processing and everything is done in the frame, which is a much thicker, bigger frame than what you would see or like from regular glasses. So there's not much you can do in this little space that you have to work with. iPhone, however, if they get into those types of glasses and products, you think the processing is going to happen here? No, it's going to happen in the iPhone, in your pocket. So those types of advantages I actually thought was quite unique to iPhone, that was not seen, or that Meta will have a hard time competing with. Google will not face those problems, right? Because they do have a product in your phone. They do have a watch. They do have like the ecosystem of hardware that goes on your body. So I think that that's quite interesting and quite an advantage for Robinhood, or for Apple and Google. But once again, I remain very bullish on Google. And I was actually talking with the guy he was not anti like how bullish I am on Google. He actually thinks it's a very good play. He just thinks that I was wrong on being super negative on Apple. And I actually thought that he brought up a lot of great points. He highlighted a thing that MKBHD once brought up where the amount of new innovation, the new design changes and everything is not all that exciting for people. I think what they're sort of doing is more of the Porsche type thing where they have a model of car and they just keep making the perfect tweaks until, and it continues to improve, but the overall product still remains the same. Now, my AI opinions remain the same as well, that if a company comes out with such strong or such smart devices, that is what's going to turn people or dissuade them from using Apple, is a smartphone. That's what it is, right? A smartphone. And if Apple's phones remain not smart and Google's do, I'm not saying everyone switches, but if 10% of people end up going towards Android, that is a devastating hit to the growth whenever you include the multiple that is on Apple. And I think you're already seeing that a little bit in them needing to, like, they haven't changed the price of their iPhone in years and years and years. And they have, I was going to say, well, pricing of products has gone up, which it has, but they've also internally converted that to a lot of their own in-house designs, which has lowered cost. So I think that they are starting to get lower and lower margin on the iPhone while trying to improve their, company-wide margin by including more software and services. Okay. Google is the most undervalued giant at the moment. I mean, a lot of people can say that. I think that's, you can definitely have that opinion. Let's get into, actually, really quick while we were still on, even though I've already switched away from Robinhood, just my personal opinion for Q3 now, which is now at $1.13 billion in revenue, split amongst transactional revenue, $638 million, which would be a record high, even higher than Q4. Okay. Net interest of $388 million, which would be a record high. And then other revenue of $70 million, not a record high. Q2 is always historically very high for that. So yeah, split amongst nearly 300 million of options, 265 million of cryptocurrency, 80 million of equity. A lot of those are hitting record highs. Cool? Cool. I think things like overnight index options and futures on Legend and all the new products that they end up adding, like none of these are cannibalistic. They just add more to the product, right? That's why I love Robinhood's business. It's just all of it is additive. All of it. Super cool. Tanner, do you think Robinhood can get to $500 billion market cap? Yes. Yep. I think that's definitely in the roadmap for sure. I'm betting on it. Yeah. Timeline, don't ask me. I don't know. But definitely. Okay. Can SoFi get to 400 billion? Yes, as well. I think that they will have a harder time getting to that multiple. So there's two things, right? They are, one, a $30 billion company, and Robinhood's a $100 billion company for good reason, even though they make very similar amounts of revenue. One has much faster growth rates and no risk. You can even call margin and stuff like this. It's still tied to the securities that people are holding, and so they could be margin called away. Whenever you look at SoFi, they do have immense levels of growth, and that could be expanding. But there still is a possibility. People always have to hedge for the downside or prepare for a downside. And if the credit markets start to turn the opposite way, right now we're looking forward to SoFi getting rates cut for them and for them to actually improve their ability to sell loans. If that happens the other way around, let's imagine, the next sort of interest rate cycle where the Fed starts to look to increase rates SoFi is not going to feel as happy. People are going to say that the macro is not in their favor. Keep that in mind. I have not heard one person in chat give me a water check, so I got to sip water on my own accord. You guys got to step it up. Mods, you're supposed to be telling me when to take sips. Okay. I heard people ask me some opinions on Google, NVIDIA, BMNR, Oracle. Do you guys want to do that? Or do you guys want to do SoFi first? Which one? Also, for real, I hope, I know I've said this so many times, please, 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 SoFi, can you guys do whether it's an investor day, a large product announcement? I'm telling you, these events are unbelievable for the investors. I think the live streams add so much conviction around people's plays. I think for future investors, not just the people who are investing in SoFi today, the 30 billion. I mean, if we're talking about a $400 billion market cap, the 370 billion new dollars that need to come in. It's not really how it works, but market caps are based on the last traded price. Anyway, but for all the new money that needs to come in for it to find that market cap, it's always great to look back on previous presentations. I still read SoFi's 2021 presentations, go back to them purchasing Technisys and whenever they SPAC'd onto the market with Chamath, and read through what they thought about the business many, many years ago. Okay. So the things that they do to put out those types of events will be remembered forever. I hope and pray that SoFi ends up doing these. Maybe they could even host it at SoFi Stadium, SoFi Center, hire out some other thing from like they're starting to deal with many, hospitality businesses and hotels and stuff like this, dealing with cards. Come on, let's get some frickin' some deals going here. Also, I got a DM saying that Salesforce is working with SoFi at work and how employees are starting to get, not mailed out, but that they're being told that they're aware of new benefit programs and everything through SoFi at work for Salesforce. So awesome. But for the SoFi event, I think it's so beneficial for investors, and not only just, me, but institutions that are writing about SoFi to not just meet with Anthony Noto or Chris Lapointe, but to meet with all the team leads of the business. That's what I love about Hood, right? I don't even think I think I shook hands with Vlad. I don't think I actually sat down with him at any point. Well, I know I didn't. I don't know why I said it so but I did end up talking with Johan, Danica, Sarun, all of so many, Abhishek, all of these people who are the leads of the business, right? Product developer or product leads, crypto, all these things. Those people have so much conviction for the for the companies, and they adamantly want you to tell, they want to hear what's wrong. They appreciate the comments or the positive comments, but they're like, okay, thank you. What didn't you like? I'm not going to learn if you don't tell me what you hate. And I love that. It gets me so convicted around Robinhood, and I know that my money is placed so well in that business. I want that for SoFi. I want to meet who's behind the individual, categories of each. And I can go to LinkedIn, I can find them, but I want to meet them in person. It's a completely different feel. It's not something that you can learn over Zoom. It's a whole other feeling. So, yeah. Even for me, right? You guys get to meet me in person. You guys realize that I'm taller than Amit. You'll stop the comments thinking that I'm the same height as him. The whole balance changes of the friend group. I really need Amit to feel that he said he wasn't threatened by me. That needs to completely change. I asked him if he did wrestling in high school. He said, no, I did debate. I was like, okay, well then you really need to be afraid of me. He doesn't understand. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Doogie Pie with the $1. Thank you. Okay, let's let's jump into Oracle really quickly. If you guys haven't been keeping up, you probably have seen some version of this chart going around. This is the remaining performance obligation on a quarterly basis. And whenever you take a look at their growth, if you even exclude this quarter, the growth is insane. Okay. Going from 38 billion to 60 billion to 80 billion to 130, 137. It's incredible. This quarter makes this growth look flat. $455 billion in future remaining performance obligations. Okay. Meaning this is what companies are coming to them and contracting out for future compute that, you know, they will get paid on in the future and deliver into the future. Unreal. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to get paid this. There's a high likelihood that they do, and there's probably costs to break those contracts. But if things go wrong in artificial intelligence, I promise you those companies will break those contracts. Now, how does it get this big? Well, OpenAI ended up signing an unbelievably huge deal. I'm telling you guys, okay, if there's a company, like I know OpenAI for 300 billion, I think it's closer to 500 billion now. If they're signing huge $300+ billion contracts, there's so much demand for SoFi. It's incredible. I'm trying to do this, speech. I'm trying to freaking talk about OpenAI and XAI and, Meta and how much demand there is for artificial intelligence for 50% of my portfolio that's just bet on NVIDIA. Not even the remaining amount of companies that I'm betting so heavily on artificial intelligence. I mean, it's probably like 70% of my portfolio. And I have some of my biggest supporters in chat saying, here, go out and buy a nose trimmer. It's incredible. Now, I don't know if I do have nose hairs. This is a mustache, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not. Also, I don't know if anyone's on the train with me. I've been opening up about my feelings about, how I use or how I like bathroom privacy and stuff like this. And people are freaking out about that debate. And it was like half the people that I met at the Robinhood Summit were like, oh man, I'm so with you. Like, it's so great to have bathroom privacy. Hilarious. But tell me if you're with me on this one. Nose hairs are good. They filter out your breathing, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Ned Flanders looking It's so nasty in chat. I'm out here working my hardest and I'm getting just pulled apart. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. I'm just I'm having a great time. Neil says, I'm all in on Hood after that event. They clearly give a crap about their users. Need them in Canada. Did you get any intel on when they are coming? Well, they do have a acquisition of WonderFi, which is a crypto brokerage in Canada. From there, I think that they will get the proper licenses and brokerage to enter Canada, but they will be here for crypto starting first, right? So I'm going to get an account whenever that comes available, but we'll see. Tanner, you look serious. It's just I'm just, I'm great. I actually was having this conversation. This guy came up to us. I forget his name, and was talking about how much money's made, which is honestly the best conversations ever. Everyone had come up and either said, like, hey, I got into Robinhood, or I got into a video, or I got into SoFi, and I've made a fortune. And I'm like, I could do these all day. Keep it coming. I freaking love those conversations. I'm so happy that I didn't go to this Hood conference and like Hood's doing well and SoFi's done poorly. And everyone's like, man, it worked out well that it popped, which we knew it would, but it's just the timing of when that happens. Who knows? Either way, what was I going to say? Oh, I was standing there talking to this man. He just was having this conversation and he looks over at me and he goes, man, that guy, and he points at my face and he goes, that guy is too serious. I was like, these are long days. I'm just enjoying this intellectual conversation. I'm just looking at you. But maybe I have that persona where people just are just like, Tanner, you need to enjoy yourself. I'm having a blast. I'm just tired. What's considered bathroom privacy? Pooping alone? Yes, exactly. That was this whole big thing that Amit and Roy and everything went on. They're like, oh, Tanner's a freak. Wait till you hear about his weird Airbnb quirk. And I said, hey, I don't like people around me whenever I'm using the bathroom. Why don't you just go away from the bathroom door? And they're like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. I'm like, what? It's just, it's my little sanctuary. I just want to be left alone. No, I don't destroy toilets. I just think it's gross. It's just the grossest room. You know. Yeah. Hi, Tanner. Nice meeting you in person. Edward was unbelievably nice and took an amazing photo. If that's you, Edward, on X. It looks like you in the photo here. But yeah, super, super nice to meet you, Edward. That was great. Let's see if we can I can find the image. Let's see. I literally don't even know how I would. Okay. Oh, Davis was there too. It was great to meet Davis. He was a really nice dude. Ended up hanging out with us the whole time. It was fun. Okay. I'm going to see if I can find this, but maybe I won't. Bark Investing ended up showing off these photos as well. This was really nice. So this was some of the event, and they had booked out this whole F1 tour thing. It was great. He ended up seeing Amit. That's me and Roy just in the background talking, and then ended up getting a photo. So that was really nice. But yeah, just so you see, okay, look at Amit versus this guy, plus the hat, okay? Look at the eye lines, and then look at me and him. I'm tilting my head. I'm being nice. I'm sick of these comments. No, I'm just here to clown on Amit. That's all. I met Davis before too. He's such a sweetheart. He was great. He was leave him alone. Yeah, no, he's awesome. We were chilling the whole time. Okay, I'm just trying to find some of the other photos that oh, I met Joshua Hill. He was great, dude. Super funny. Great to see these people that you interact with and talk with online. Chris Patel, unbelievable. So those events were really fun. Or those parts of the events. Edward, please send me the photo if you're still in chat. I'd love to share it on screen, but I don't remember what your exact thing was. Can I just type in like Hood Summit Edward? Is that how X search works? No, I don't think it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I underestimate how good some of these things are. But he took this beautiful photo. It actually looks better like this. So this was Edward, obviously Roy, Amit, myself, and Joshua Hill, who literally I could not stop looking at and be like, dude, you are data-driven investing. Literally looked just like him, and I thought that was super cool. But yeah. Yeah, a couple of cutie pies. Okay. Amit's energy levels are the same the whole time. Like, he's crazy. He is a psycho, dude. Like, like, I was talking with him and I'm like, man, I'm so tired. Like, because I had gone from East Coast to the West Coast. So it's a 3-hour difference. It throws me further back. So whenever it was like midnight, it was actually like 3 a.m. for me. So we were out or one of the nights like super late. We met Triple V. By the way, I met Triple V, if you guys know who that is. That was a lot of fun. But Amit was like, oh man, yeah, you can't go to sleep. Sleep whenever you're back in Canada. But he meant it. Like, he really was doing like these crazy like 3-hour power naps and then back to work the next morning. Like, it was nonstop. I can't do that. Like, I need to function on 8 hours. He's I don't know what is creating that internal hunger, but he has it. And he doesn't even drink coffee or anything. Like, it's just, yeah. Did Triple V pay for dinner? Yes. The dinner was insanity. I don't think I've ever done a dinner like that. Like, we went out to dinner and they were just ordering the menus. They were just like, okay, bring it out. The dessert menu came out. They just said, bring everything. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah. That's I wasn't joking. I mean, they literally were like, take it all. It was crazy, but it was a lot of fun. Where did we eat? I think I can say that. Can I say that? Can I say where we ate? I think I can. I just want to keep people's anonymity if that's what they want. Yeah, okay. So we ate at a place called Delilah in the Wynn Hotel, which was really nice. Really, really nice. Yeah, Amit will be back. He's continuing to travel. He went from one event to the next. It was bougie. It was a nice bougie spot. Yeah. I think the most expensive thing on the menu was like $350 or something like this. It was some dry aged like Wagyu tomahawk, and it was ordered. It was we were eating well. Tanner said you were 5'3". I did not say he was 5'3". The medium well steak. Yeah, the chef came out and said, "Are you sure?" They were like, "You're gonna butcher it, but if he's paying, we'll get it for you." I actually think the Amit might confirm this, but I think the tomahawk was ordered blue. I mean, I don't know what it was ordered as. I didn't hear, but it was red. Like, but yeah, I think it was blue, meaning like they touch the sides and move on. It was not. It looked like a right off of the cow. Amit was talking zodiac sign. No, that wasn't with me. No, I wouldn't be talking zodiac signs with him. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get back to it. Like I showed off, the Oracle news, big AI players continue to buy. If I could take a public stake and look through the numbers of OpenAI, I would love to take stake in this business. I know this just shows off them spending and they're going to further their losses, but it just shows you that they see a path to, it might even be one of the more speculative names. I think the easier buys might even be Google and Facebook and or Meta and all of these names, because even if AI becomes a big fad and they can't actually make it super profitable as what they would hope, they can still fall back onto very successful businesses. OpenAI is a moonshot bet, but it probably will become one of the largest startups ever in history. So, yeah, that's very important to understand. But all of this will be powered by the existing chip manufacturers that we talk about here on a daily basis. AMD, I'm sure. NVIDIA, 100%. Custom silicon, potentially. We don't really know. There's a new large customer that is tapping Broadcom for chips. Maybe that's Oracle. But what we do know is that they are definitely tapping and making more phone calls to Jensen to say, hey, can we get more chips, please? Thank you. Got the salsa, need some more chips, please. And they continue to order. I continue to remain super bullish. The market obviously has increased their bullishness on the stock, but yeah. Dang, I should buy crypto just so I can watch charts move on the weekends too. Speaking of which, BMNR, ladies and gentlemen, this one is a lot of fun. So if we just go a little bit more in the 5-day movements, up 32%. If any of you guys had caught this in the sort of mid to, 45 and under, whenever we really started covering it, not a bad start. Obviously, hopefully you're looking for a bigger return than that, but this is a great day, up 15% in the intraday, continuing to be bullish into the after hours. It's looking like the Ethereum treasury company is working well. All right. Let's see where ETH is right now. Yeah, I mean, that's looking pretty nice. Wait, why can't I? I almost need to click. Yeah, there you go. Not too shabby. So doing great there, but they'll just continue to acquire more Ethereum. There's really not much of the bull case. I mean, acquire more Ethereum, dilute equity whenever it's above MNAV to buy more Ethereum, and then as Ethereum climbs, that increases the quote unquote book value of BMNR. And then if they stake it, then they are making consistent, not just revenue, but just immediate net income, because it costs nothing for them to do that. All right. BMNR is definitely getting more love than the stepchild SBET. Yes, I think they will both do all right, but this is one of those industries where it favors being the winner. The bigger premium that you have on market net asset value to the underlying security, which is Ethereum, means that you can increase the speed at which you dilute and then repurchase. So that is very, very exciting. So the ability for BMNR to stack ETH continues to increase even quicker. I think they have 2 million ETH now, which is about 1.7% of the total outstanding amount of Ethereum. Yeah. Glad Amit and Tanner are back on. It was a boring week. Yeah. I mean, the live streamers were off. But that's what happens whenever Hood invites us out. I mean, we get convicted around the same similar names. And you guys should have seen. I mean, we were doing breakfast with like just the most, like, we had Chris Patel there, Roy, Amit, Joshua Hill, other investors that I don't know if they want to be named or not, but it was just great to get a really good balance of perspectives and yeah, super fun. Super, super fun. Meeting Chris Patel was amazing. Tanner, are you buying BMNR? Yes. Yes, I am. Chris Patel was there. I thought he had a day job. I think he does have a day job. Well, I like 99%. I don't know if he left it, but I'm pretty sure he has a day job. And then, but yeah, he just made some time to come out to Vegas. Are you buying at these levels? Oh, yes. I think that this goes much higher than, I think 45, like whenever MNAV got brought to that level, essentially 1-to-1 with what they had almost, like especially when it was like around 40, was just crazy. Like that was just crazy opportunity. So do you buy SoFi at 7 just because it was at 4? Of course. Because the goal is 25. The goal is 45, right? BMNR, it goes from 40 to 51. The goal is 100. The goal is 200. The goal is 400, So we'll see, but it's going to matter how quickly Ethereum can rise to those levels and if it's the chosen cryptocurrency for stablecoin adoption. Tanner, when are you buying next? It just had a 30% pullback. It's not a name that I look into, but Tevis is really starting to push it. So I could be convinced that there is opportunity in other names. Yeah. Also, let's just quickly have a look at things. Let's just type in Duolingo here, which is down today, but still at $307. Pretty crazy how that quickly turned around from being a $270 business to now rising back up to 300. Now, it might have another dip in the future if people believe that there's another live translation tool or something like this, but I really don't think people are using BMNR for the purposes that not only a ChatGPT or something like this could fix, but also a live translation tool. I think that for myself, I will use those if I go to Italy, or I mean, I was just going to start naming off countries abroad where they speak different languages. Okay, every other place other than English-speaking countries, I would wear headphones that are live translating what I'm hearing. But you don't get a job that way if you're coming to America or something like this and go, oh, you know what? I don't speak English, but I'm going to, do my career through Apple headphones. Yeah, right. But I think Duolingo stays dead money until earnings. I think that's perfectly fine. But do we play this before earnings? Do we buy it for earnings that are going to come out? I think that's definitely a possibility. Check out Revolut if you travel internationally. I hear good things. I also hear good things. But yeah, I don't know if you mean the company, like in terms of private equity for international markets, or you mean for my use? Because for my use, whenever I travel abroad, it's always Wise. I use a lot of Wise products. In the age of AI, I'd be very surprised if Duolingo is not a zero in a few years. But why? Why? Because you're saying there's going to be another company that uses AI to make a product that's better than Duolingo? Duolingo is using AI. So why would a new company come in doing the exact same thing that they're doing and somehow do it better? I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I don't think the thing that makes Duolingo exciting is how accurately they can teach you a language. I don't think that that's the interesting part. I think it's how often they can bring a user back to the application that want to use your product. And you do not see that often, especially in learning applications. That's the part that I think is the exciting thing. I think it's not easy to use an app that's fun and engaging. And you know that it's fun if you see monthly active users versus daily active users, and the daily active users as a percentage of monthlies is growing. And monthly active users is growing. So it's pulling it upward. Free user, only do a lesson daily for the streak, brother. LOL. You still pay them via advertising. They're fine with you being a free user. But your anecdotal experience of Duolingo is not bearish to me at all. I mean, you care so much about a quote unquote streak, which is just a fake thing that they've created that says, oh yeah, you've done this for 300 days, that you keep coming back. You're trying to show this like it's bearish or something. That's bullish. They've made a product that for some reason you think that you have to keep coming back to keep a streak. That's engagement. That's stickiness. You've proven my point. I love languages. Wires your brain to think more. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about this, about how different languages actually change the way you structure ideas, which I think is interesting. That's what Hood wants? Absolutely. Every online consumer company wants stickiness. That's why they're going to add the social products. That's why, you want to continue to be that place where they stop either once a day, multiple times a day, and just check what's going on, look at your account balance, maybe make a trade, learn a language, whatever it is. They're pricey. That's my only problem. I think that's a fair piece of criticism. For a company that's dying, they still do have a pretty interesting forward earnings or PE in general. But they are growing very quickly and expanding user bases, huge total addressable market. It is definitely a very interesting name. Bring on the milkman to debate Duolingo's long-term vision. I don't think Steve is even anti-Duolingo. He's been texting me and calling me, and he's like, so wait, are we doing this? Like, I think he's questioning himself. I don't think everyone's like anti it. How's the community portfolio doing? Oh my gosh, I have not checked in like a while. It's been like a week. Let's check. Oh my gosh. Look at this. I mean, SBET goes up. We all go up, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the community portfolio built by recommendations from the community. Started on July 8th. We had a rocky start. SBET was like a 40% allocation in the portfolio and happened to be dropping quickly. But if it continues to have these 8+% days, we will return quite quickly. But now only down 4%. I think we're going to come back. Rivian had a red day. I got pitched Rivian by someone very interesting, and then they kind of got hit with a double whammy. They got hit with a recall because of a software issue, And then they got hit with Amazon exploring GM delivery vehicles, which was like a big sucker punch because everyone thought that Amazon at the end of the day was just going to bankroll Rivian because they're going to buy them for autonomous EV vehicles eventually. So big yikers on Rivian, but if you're a big believer in the R2, which is their sort of cheaper middle range, I was listening to the CEO. He said something like the biggest or most wanted vehicle type is a 5-seater SUV around $45,000. And that's exactly what they put out or what they're going to be putting out in mass production. I think it's Q2 of 2026, something like that, through the R2. So Rivian was one I was taking a quick look at. By the way, tomorrow, guys, because I have not been giving you guys a lot of content because I've been away, we are doing another stream tomorrow, which will be sort of what's usually our fiscal Friday. This will be like a fiscal Saturday, where we'll be doing a big fundamental deep dive on a new company. Okay, so yeah, that'll be interesting. It's sad because Rivians are 10x better than Tesla from a product standpoint. In what way? I get if you're like looking for a truck and you want like a more modern truck and you do not want a Cybertruck, then like you would want that. But I have not heard that criticism that they're just overall better. Because if you're comparing like, I don't know, they got to be compared apples to apples. So if they're pricing closer to a Model S, then compare it via the Model S. It's still a pretty freaking amazing vehicle. It's still I'm not a Tesla shareholder right now, but I've got no problems with the products. And in fact, the Teslas actually, the stock is going up quite a lot because Elon's made some comments about, well, not only is his stock comp quite interesting about getting to 8.5 trillion, he'll make $1 trillion by 2038. That's very interesting for a lot of people. And because he has this sort of incentive, he's been supposedly stepping away permanently from politics and going all in on Tesla again because he has a financial incentive to do so. Pretty interesting. It's also funny that he thinks that he doesn't have a financial incentive before and he owns like 14% of $1 trillion business. He's like, I mean, this company's not worth it. Like, there's levels to this wealth game, you know? But yeah, he seems very convicted. You'll thank me later, says Elon Musk. But then there's comments that I see like this from Jesse Dow, which I think sort of highlights some of my concerns right now about some of the products that they have out. Dropped my 11-year-old daughter off at school 2 blocks before, or 2 blocks beforehand because she was afraid of being seen in our Cybertruck. She didn't want to be dropped off further away because she was embarrassed of me or the truck. She was afraid of being called a Nazi or a racist. How have we come to such in our place in our country and society? Now, that is a fair criticism that a truck means that you have picked a political side or that you are an extreme version of that side or something much, much worse. It's a vehicle, okay? That being said, social sentiment, judgment by, public or the court of public opinion is a real thing. Whenever it comes to brand association or the sort of brand damage that Tesla has brought upon itself through Elon spreading views, regardless of if you believe those views or not, has hurt the sales of the Cybertruck because it's so polarizing. Thank gosh it has not spread to Model Ys, Model 3s, stuff like this, because then it would be devastating. But it's hard to pinpoint those vehicles, and they fit in very well with the rest of the cars that are on the road. The Cybertruck, people can point out to and say, that guy is, an extreme Elon lover or something like this. And Elon likes this thing that I don't like or whatever. And I'm not even talking about the actual stated views. Okay, I'm not taking a political stance here. I'm just saying in business, you should want to sell to all parties. Okay. And that's just Jesse Dow, who is a very, very big Tesla shareholder and supporter of the business, is feeling those own personal struggles with the car because his 11-year-old daughter, doesn't like it. I think that the car brand is not done. I think a realist. I think you have some, more direct views than me. I think that the cyber brand should probably be parked. Whether or not you think it's ugly or beautiful or whatever, I actually don't mind it. I think out of all the vehicles I wish we had a little bit more flavor and different looks to them. I like the idea that someone has come out with something just remotely different than the generic look to everything else. So that's fine. I mean, take a shot at things. I don't think the sales on Cybertruck have died because of the look or the performance or anything in between. I think it's purely political. I could be wrong. If somehow they had a survey talking about that, but that's the reason why all the celebrities have given it up. And they, Kim K and Justin Bieber and all these things, you guys might not care about those people, but other people care about the clothes that they wear, the cars that they drive, and who they hang out with. They don't drive the Cybertrucks anymore because it makes a political statement, and that sucks. But I don't actually think anything with Tesla is I see a lot of people, like, there were swastikas drawn into Cybertrucks constantly. I think it was actually called like the swastika or whatever. People were making some pretty crazy statements about that vehicle. I didn't see a whole lot of swastikas drawn into Model Ys. Who knows? Okay. People are going to start their own business in the future, off Tesla to buy a bunch of cars and turn them into robo-taxis and generate net income. I think that could be true. I just don't know how big of a business it is. Everyone says this like, oh my gosh, if Toro was a part of, Tesla, that would be amazing. I would be like, it doesn't even remotely change the valuation. We tried to order a Zoox car. So Zoox just publicly went available while we were in Vegas on the strip. We tried ordering it and it didn't work. So we really, really tried. Hopefully Zoox does well. But if Toro, for example, which is sort of you lending out your cars and everything to people, if that entire market cap of Toro was added to Tesla, we wouldn't even see it. It would have already happened in the last 5 days. You could fit a Toro in there. So I get it. I don't think robotaxi is bad. I think it's very exciting. It's just, how do we measure it? Is it a $1 billion business a year? Is it 10? Is it 100? Is it 900 billion, like Kathy likes to say it is? What's the dollar amount? 10 for my missing blah blah blah. Yeah, so there might be some things that are still behind. I will update it. It's just because of this busy week. It absolutely will get updated, and all the, I'll catch up on it. I promise you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Don't think that it'll just disappear. It will be added. shorting is coming. No, they didn't say anything about banking for Robinhood. It was an active trader event. So they wanted to keep it focused on that. Same thing, like Johan was there. I don't even think Deepak was there. So Deepak's the bank lead, credit lead. Like he does all those like banking related products. He wasn't there. I would love to talk with him. Johan was there, which was very nice, and gave me a lot of his time. I had and still do have so many more products, but he got around to a lot of them, and he's the guy for the job. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I love Toro. Help me drive my dream cars for a day at least. I think a lot of people are going to love Robotaxi. I'm not saying that. It's just, if you were to add Uber, all of Lyft, all of Toro, every yellow taxi business in the world, all to Tesla, like, these would not even make that big of dents. You know, like, what's Uber right now? Is it 250 billion? No, sorry, 200 billion. It's a $200 billion business. Okay. The goal is 8 trillion. Are we buying this company, Tesla, for a 20% gain, or are we buying it to try to find a 2x, 3x, something like this over the next few years? The data that shows slow growth, is it SoFi or Hood? Hood mainly for what I was referring to. They had a not negative, or sorry, not slowing member growth, but negative member growth. And then the net deposits as well were slower than Wall Street's expectations. But some of this was the escheatment rules that forces those brokerages to either make inactive accounts pay or to drop them off of their platform. So they lost, I think, 150,000 low balance, zero activity accounts off the platform. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I thought I missed this. Payush said, Hood hit 123 this week, all-time highs, now 115. You know what to do. Buy that dip in Hoodie. Piyush, thank you so much. I do appreciate this. Sorry, we must have been in conversation whenever this flew past me, but thank you, my friend. I will add that. Okay, let's see here. You guys ask sometimes what I like to invest in. What are the areas? I'm a tech investor, ladies and gentlemen. Tech stocks are effectively the stock market. Technology stocks now reflect a record 37% of total U.S. stock market. The share has doubled in just 5 years. It now exceeds the 2000 dot-com bubble peak by 4 percentage points. You know what I should do? This would be a great video, though. The difference is the amount of earnings. Okay. The companies that were weighted in market cap back in the dot-com bubble versus their earnings were not even remotely close. There will be a lot of names that end up getting onto the market. I think the bull market's much bigger than people think. I think, like, some people are like, oh, we got 2 months left. I'm like, no, I think we have like 18 more months left. But anyway, and I'm not even saying that something happens after 18 months. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing in the short term that is scaring me. The interesting part about the dot-com bubble versus today is just the amount of pull forward expectations is really not happening. You'll see that in a few select names, but a lot of it's happening in private markets. The speculation, the pull forward in expectations on valuations for things like Unitree or Figure AI or all these things, they're all private businesses for robotics. For agentic AI and some of these businesses as well, all private. The companies that are actually making money and deserving these multiples are the big mega names that have existing businesses and have the capital without diluting. A lot of these big names like Nvidia, Google, everything like this are not only investing a ton back into themselves, which is the worrisome part, is that CapEx is too big, but are making tons of money hand over fist, still cash flow positive and greatly so in a lot of names. And then as well as that, are still doing buybacks. So they're not diluting to, generate growth. They are growing and also improving shareholder returns. It's unbelievable. So you guys ask what I'm buying? Tech stocks. Love tech. I do have a few speculative names like BMNR. If you were to tell me, hey, or what are the names that you're buying that have less fundamentally strong businesses? I mean, like BMNR fits into that, but I also do think that Ethereum is a technology company that's going to see more usage, Databricks IPO would make things interesting. I mean, I don't think that one's as scary as people say. It will probably be one of the more inflated valuations, but rightfully so. But I'm thinking more of the smaller names, the companies that have been founded around 2021 or 2022 and beyond. Businesses that are made because of artificial intelligence. Those are the ones that I would be worried about. Tons of VC funding, just unbelievable amounts, huge customer acquisition, but also just incredible burn rates. And ChatGPT or OpenAI to some degree falls under that, but I also think they have the winning product. We'll see. Have you looked into SMCI lately? Honestly, Dylan Patel doing a tour of their business makes me bullish, because if there's I'm sorry, I'm going to swear, so you guys can beat me out, and I'm making up a word here, but if there is bullshittery, if there is garbage going on at that business, Dylan would find it. And he seemed very happy about the tour that he did at SMCI. Sorry, I needed one of those. I needed a so I could make up a word here. But if there was something going on, he would know. And he seemed very happy. So SMCI might go on the short list, so then I can do some DD. That could be an interesting one, but yeah. If BMNR and SBET have bought, I think you meant to say so much ETH, why it didn't reach 10K yet? Are they buying in a different way? 10K is a long way off. There's if you look at the percentage of BMNR, they own what, 1.7%? You're talking about it doubling. So I think you need to put things into perspective of how big the total ownership, the total supply of those positions are. Whenever they buy, some people sell. There's shareholders that are bigger than BMNR, and people can sell. Do you like Melly? Yes. Also, there was news there as well, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not Melly, but maybe some Melly competition. The great and powerful Brad Freeman has noticed, and we've been talking about this on the channel a few times, that Nubank will end up getting into Argentina. Not only that, but also America as well. These are the things that I think are going to happen. But now they're asking for software engineers in Buenos Aires, which is Argentina. I think that this is great. So they have a lot of tech hubs in America, Uruguay, Germany, stuff like this. So it does, they will get talent from all across the world. Doesn't mean that they enter those areas, but they've never had one in Argentina, and they've expressed ever since Javier Milei got into office that they would be entering because there was no more political concerns that they were worried about. for banking regulation. In fact, a lot of the regulation has been taken away. But Brazil has roughly 184 million adult population and an average income of 9,950 USD. Argentina has 33 million adult population with an average income of 13,440 USD. Now, I kind of messed up here. I said it roughly adds 30% of to Newz possible TAM. It would be 30% of the Brazilian TAM, not they sort of said that Mexico had the same TAM as Brazil, so maybe 15%. You want to include Colombia, that's much smaller. Maybe that's 5%. So maybe Argentina adds 10 to 12% on their TAM. Okay? Or let's just say 12%. But still, that's freaking awesome. Gotta love whenever they add new massive industries, and that's just talking about the size of their business in Brazil. If you continue to go forward, like Brazil will be a lot bigger in the future than what it is today for Nubank. Probably double, more than double into the future. So Argentina starting from zero could potentially get very big. So yeah. All right. So okay, we talked Nubank, we talked Oracle, AI, Nvidia. So bullish on Nvidia still. I mean, it's unbelievable. Getting very bullish on Broadcom. Read up a little bit on Rivian, but it's a little bit weird. Happy Camper being a shareholder of. Oh, you know what? Let's talk some SoFi really quick. We have some SoFi news as well. Aside from Tanner, can we talk about the new NVIDIA Rubin CPX AI chip? Well, I mean, it's nothing too new, but obviously their next chips that are going to be coming out are going to be extremely, extremely efficient. And whenever you're talking about performance per watt, there's nothing else other than the choice of upgrading from the architecture from Hopper to Blackwell to now Vera Rubin. It's going to be amazing. So in terms of the specifics, I don't have too many things. I don't really look at it that way. I leave that to the more, semi-professionals. I just keep it in terms of a benchmark for which that would be by far the highest benchmark. The GB300s running DeepSeek R1 was the best performance for not just NVIDIA, but the GPU market and semi market in general. Vera Rubin's going to be something crazy, like 30x more or 30x better than their next model. So that's absolutely insane. Sorry, one sec. I just got a message. Okay, cool. NVIDIA. Everyone knows NVIDIA leads on performance, but efficiency is just as critical as power demand explodes. Rivals chase specs or build ASICs for narrow tasks, yet no one matches NVIDIA GPUs. Rubin only widens the gap. Completely. If power is the bottleneck, then NVIDIA wins even more. Thank you so much, JS, for the donation. I'll make sure to put that on the community portfolio under NVIDIA. Okay. SoFi. We ended up getting a analyst upgrade for SoFi to $29 a share from Kyle Peterson. Okay, which only really shows off a 9% upside at this point. So we're going to need a whole new analyst upgrade across the board saying, hey, you know what, we're much higher. So either we still believe this company, let me show you here. Either we still believe that this company is, $14 or 13 or 6 or 21s across the board. And the further we go down, the lower the stock price, not because, they are bearish on this company per se. Like this is a buy 1850, buy at 20, but we're so much further, but the stock has moved so much. And for people like Devin Ryan actually has a stock price or a share price of 17. And I spoke with him. He said, we need to update that price and it would be a lot higher than that but obviously, they work on many different businesses. So for, the higher we go, the higher the stock price and the more convinced people get, funnily enough. But Kyle ended up saying this. One of the key reasons that we upgraded is the favorable trend in funding availability and costs. Which are expected to enhance growth in SoFi's lending business. This is particularly promising if interest rates cut occur later in the year, potentially boosting the company's financial prospects. Additionally, the recent capital raise, so the dilution that retail hated, he said, the recent capital raise during the summer is seen as a significant opportunity for SoFi. This influx of capital could either accelerate growth in the lending sector or enable strategic moves in mergers and acquisitions, particularly in emerging areas such as blockchain, AI, or broader technology platforms. These factors collectively contribute to the bullish stance on SoFi, leading to the reiteration of a buy rating and an increased share price of $29. Not bad. Not bad. So, yeah. I don't think the capital raise was bad news. Wall Street doesn't seem to think it's bad news. You need a lot of money to get into certain industries like home loans, for example. SoFi's in it, but it's tiny. They want to go from 2% of their outstanding market or like outstanding users, existing users, to 15%. You need a lot of money, even if you're doing it through a loan platform business. Have you ever looked at TSSI? It's dropped from its highs. I was sitting with Joshua Hill like all week. So yes, I had to look at TSSI. Okay, let's see here. No, it was not Kyle the stock goat. It was Kyle Peterson. He's a Wall Street analyst. We care about analysts of all different sizes. Kyle the stock goat's also very important, but this was Kyle Peterson. Talking about new, they now have Roberto Campos working with them. He is a former Brazilian central bank president. I actually didn't know that. Well, I did see the news report that came out about Roberto Campos, but I didn't read it. I think that came out like maybe a week or two ago, right? Former Brazilian central bank president. That's crazy. Someone watched Jose's new video yesterday. I didn't, but if you're suggesting that JS did, then yeah. I mean, these are pretty normal takes on NVIDIA, though. But yeah. It's so weird whenever I see people that are like super bearish on NVIDIA, and you only really see them come out. This is the sickening thing about markets. No one feels comfortable telling me that I'm wrong on NVIDIA or SoFi or anything like this. And then one of these companies will fall like 8%. And then people are like, I knew it the whole time. This company was trash. But you don't want to say it. You don't want to put your opinion out before it happens because you could be wrong. You know? 2 shares of ONDS. Ondas Holdings. I'll do it. It fits. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Jose is the semi-god. Well, I mean, Dylan Patel is the semi analysis god. I mean, that's really the guy. But try to get different sources of information from a bunch of different people. I'm super bullish on drones, but I don't look into many businesses that are available. So ONDS, Kratos, defenses, stuff like this. Sounds quite interesting. But wow, did it ever run recently? Up 88% in the last month. That's nuts. Still only $2 billion. Is it like for commercial use or what kind of drones are we talking? Is this a name I need to look into? Nobody is more bearish on Nvidia than Jose. That's not even remotely true. He's a big shareholder. Government contracts for drones. Kratos is overvalued. Yeah, I don't look into them. They're so tiny. I don't. I honestly find water drink reminder. Okay. I honestly I do really well in the 20 to 50 billion range is whenever I start really looking into companies. And I know I miss out on opportunities going from 2 to 20, for example. Wouldn't that be a great starting point? But I think I avoid a lot of the product market fit that those companies have to go through. Like the market has to say, hey, you know what? This is the drone business that we want to bet on. And I feel like those get really established in the 20 to 50 billion for a lot of industries. And then at that point, it's the scaling. It's the how do we make things more efficient? How do we improve our marketing? There's so many things at that point that I just find are so much easier for me to point out. And still, from 20 to a trillion, there's so much opportunity there if you pick big industries. And that's what I try to do. Huge total addressable markets have been my biggest advantage, I think, as an investor. Pick companies that solve unbelievably huge products. Okay, let's see. Drones are complicated. Yeah, I mean, I still think it drones could be an unbelievably huge industry. So I'm not anti-drones. I think that's one I could definitely get my head around. But I also think something like what's the zip line? I think I would like a name like that, but I don't think they're public. Ondas is 3 companies, really? Yeah, I really don't like that. It's the same thing with Nebius. I'm like, why don't I just buy a company that's super focused, especially at that size? It's why are you so many businesses and you're a few $1 billion? But yeah. Obviously, Nebius is not a bad purchase, and they're now starting to sign with huge hyperscalers. It's just also why I didn't pull the trigger to begin with. I'm like, what I really, really loved about many of the companies that I hold, but specifically NVIDIA, is just the focus has been insane. What do you think about Jensen going to the UK next week? I don't think much about it. I mean, that's just what he has to do. I don't just think about every business decision. I'll let him run the business. I'm not better than him. I just look at the general macro trends and see that he is, or that artificial intelligence is expected to grow at a 50+% rate for the entire market. And it looks like NVIDIA is going to play a big part in that. Okay, let's see. You mean a company with only one business segment? No, it doesn't have to be one business segment per se. Like, it depends, right? Like, SoFi can have multiple business segments, but they are in the same thing. Or a company that has, or like Chime, for example, that has, Chime, and then they have Chime Enterprise. It's the same thing, two different business segments. But just having a bunch of different businesses that do crazily different things at small sizes. Obviously, Microsoft, Google, they have to completely diversify their business. But the three segments are all drones. Okay, well that helps. But yeah, if you have like one for commercial, one for military, like that's perfectly fine. I'm not opposed to that. But whenever people are like, "Oh, it's awesome because they have so many different businesses," I'm like, that's not that cool. No, that doesn't get me excited. We're a drone company, and we own a local grocery store, and we also do cybersecurity. I'm like, ugh. It's also why I'm like, I was troubled with Broadcom the first time I looked at it. I'm like, okay, wait, you guys are telling me you build everything and big AI centers and cybersecurity? Like, I'm like, come on, man, get it figured out. But I am becoming very, very, very bullish on Broadcom, and I love that Hawk Tan is very financially motivated to keep working on the AI, specifically AI side of the business. Quite interesting. He has a huge incentive to boost AI revenue. I don't want the grocery store delivery drone cybersecurity company. Okay, Larry Ellison would be the one to pop the bubble, that rascal. I think, yeah, it is funny that, he misses on top and bottom line and then shows off these billings and then goes, and the whole market pops up 40% on them just extending the timeline of what they see for future contracts. Like, most contracts we sign are 1 to 2 years. This one's 4+ years. I don't know. I'm not even stating that it's I think it's very bullish regardless. But it is funny that, like, if you are talking about bubbles, remaining performance obligation falls under things that can turn around quickly. It's not a gap metric for a reason. Okay. Okay. How come barely anyone is talking about Reddit? I don't use it. I do want to look into the company. Maybe you might see a video about it tomorrow. Who does know these days? But yes, we are doing a live stream tomorrow. What time do you guys want the live stream to be on at? Like, are you guys, and I'm talking Eastern Standard Time. Are we thinking like noon? Are we thinking like 7 p.m.? I knew it would be Reddit. You don't know it's Reddit. I didn't say it's Reddit. Maybe it's Micron. But yeah, I want to do a video tomorrow doing a deep dive into a company. I don't need your we already have it picked out. It's not Duolingo. We already did Duolingo, but yeah. I mean, we don't 100% know. It's the greatest day in English cricket tomorrow. Okay, well, when is English cricket? So then I can play around that, which for real, I didn't even know was a thing. Is that a sport that gets a lot of views? I know cricket does, but like specifically English cricket, is that big? I'm pretty sure, is cricket not the most popular sport in India? Sup with the live stream with Roy and Tevis. They are doing a show because what's it called? I don't think Roy can make it later to the event, or Tevis can't make it later. But yeah. Yeah. No one knew. Okay. Deep dive into Grinder. I don't think, like, talk about a big total addressable market. Isn't like that a dating app for 10% of the population or something? Like, to me, that's not a big total addressable market. Nor do I even like any of the like, aren't they all like bad investments? Like Bumble and Tinder and all those, like, they have not been good investments. College football weekend too. Okay, well, I need to look at the schedules then and then plan around that, because I know that you guys are into it, but I don't even, might be. I don't follow it. Tanner, are you cutting your SoFi to get into other stocks or letting it ride? Theo, I was buying like $2 ago. I was buying at like 24. I'm letting it ride, baby. I'm freaking super excited for what SoFi is holding into the, near future. Like, I think the next 12 to 18 months for SoFi is going to be ridiculous. And pay potentially even sooner than that. I mean, over the course of the next months or next 9 months, we're going to find out how much Anthony Noto makes in terms of his performance-based stock units. So he has a lot to prove over the next few quarters. And from what we've seen from Q3, website traffic hit an all-time high. Search traffic on Google hit an all-time high. Massive spikes in this quarter around, what is it? What is it called? Oh, SoFi Loans, SoFi Invest, SoFi Plus, all hit brand new highs this quarter. SoFi Checking, SoFi Bank, all new highs. I just made a video on it recently. I maybe need to do another one to put it all together in one video. Maybe I'll do that over the next few days. I've got a lot of stuff I want to cover. I need to make an Amazon video, an NVIDIA video, a Hood video, a Nubank video, a SoFi video. So expect a lot. I don't have much coming in the future for things that I have to do outside of make videos for you guys. So we are going to be busy. I mean, and there is not a more motivating thing. Like, I don't know. I'm sure you guys might not know who Triple V is, but you could assume he's probably some level of, person that's been successful in their life. And to sit around these types of people and talk about how hard they've worked and the things that they've accomplished by sacrificing certain things to go after their dreams, it's hard to come home and not want to give it your all. So, feeling extremely motivated right now. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm giving up on my health and those types of goals either. I mean, whenever I think of working hard, I also think about the way that I treat my body, stuff like this. Triple V is a trust fund. So I can't say much about Triple V, but he absolutely is a self-made individual. And that was very exciting. I love hearing people's stories, and he had a fantastic one. Dividends in the next decade for SoFi? Yeah, I think so. I think over the long term, they do the same things that any other tech company or that's what I think finance is going to turn into as well. I need to make a video on that. Like, finance in the future is going to be treated much more like a tech company. You're going to be looking at the customers and stuff like this to judge how they're going to grow in the future. And you know that that's what Anthony Noto is going after, because that's how he's talking about the performance of the business. Rule of 40, stuff like that. These are not banking metrics at all. He's not talking about their capital ratios and crap like this. Like, he will answer questions around that. Yeah, I mean, our capital ratios are fine. Yes, our capital is in good standing, stuff like this. But at the end of the day, he's saying customer acquisition, lifetime value of a customer, rule of 40, operating leverage. He's making it very clear. This is a tech company. We just happen to have a bank charter to further the progress of collecting more users. And as we've seen from the recent article, they're one of the most, preferred institutions. I think number 4 out of every bank in America in terms of a customer satisfaction. Number 4. Chime was on that list as well. So they still included fintechs, but they were 9th on the list. Number 1 was USAA, which they're always number 1. How do you guys say? It's not USAA is how you say it. You guys say like USAA or something like that. I forget how you say it. But yeah, it's like a veterans bank or something. They've always had extremely high customer satisfaction. I've always seen that from them. No, I said it right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't have it here in Canada, so. Still holding SoFi, not selling anytime soon. Conviction. I can't believe some people had walked up to me and they were like, oh, at the Hood Summit, they're like, Tanner, I love Hood. That's why I'm here. I use them to trade, but I've made an unbelievable fortune and I've changed my life betting on this company since, $7, $6, $5. It's just crazy. Tanner ignoring me. I didn't even see any comments. Okay, they don't seemingly. Okay, but they are seemingly only for veterans and ex-military and stuff. Just looked at Wikipedia. Yeah. So it doesn't really count. I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm sure SoFi is probably even bigger at this point. And that's me just taking a guess, but 12 million customers is a heck of a lot for any business. Best price to get into AI? Okay, SoFi. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, huh? Like C3 AI? Best price to get into SoFi was $4.24, 28 cents, something like that. Very few people got it at that price. What you're meaning is not something I could tell you. I think you need to determine what you believe the stock price is going to be in the future, and then if you think that that is a return that you feel comfortable investing in, well, also potentially risk. Like I met, for example, Porter Collins and Vincent Daniels. They are the two guys from The Big Short. Not only did they short the subprime mortgages and everything during the 2008 crisis, which was a document. They had actors play them in the movie and everything. I met them a while ago last year at like the Hood Summit 2024. Now, they were shorting SoFi at the time. Okay. And they said like, this is a scam business. They have hold for sale accounting, everything like this. and they were very anti the business. I saw them this year, stocks up like 250%. I said, guys, I respect you, but I'm going to take the dub for now. And they were honestly, and this is my experience with them. I've met them probably 3 or 4 times. They have always been amazingly nice to me. And I honestly, the opposite of going after them in any sort of negative way, like go follow them. Like they are the nicest guys. I'll talk to them every time I meet them. They might be on the channel one day because like they really do love just respectful discourse. And that's what we saw. So that was awesome. But that being said, it was nice to hear their concerns about SoFi going forward, but also they have been surprised by how well SoFi has been doing fundamentally. And it was nice to hear that, they were shorting, but they're also pretty blown away with the execution. Which, by the way, they are stunned by Robinhood. They love this business. So, yeah. Everyone's talking about the Bills right now. What's happening? The Buffalo Bills. What? Is their match starting? I sound like such an... I don't even know how to... I don't even know how to look up the game. I'm such an idiot. Okay. Someone mentioned Jody Allen. Josh Allen. Yeah. Evan, what's up, buddy? Evan, I'm going to send you a link. You can join with your camera off. I want to hear your experience of the Hood event. Obviously, you can join with the camera off. I mean, Josh Allen is him. If you even can join, I don't even know if you... I didn't even possibly give you an out. No, they're talking about a partnership? Okay. Well, someone's watching a game. They just tweeted at me with a game playing in the background and also listening to the stock. Wes did. Okay. Evan's going to join in. Tanner, you should be a Bills fan. You're from Canada. I'm a Canadian. I don't know how that plays into it, but I think I've actually gone to a Buffalo Bills game, but I've never been interested in any sport. Now, introducing somebody that's going to talk about football the second I enter him. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the great and powerful Stock Market News.
I appreciate you for having me, sir. I'm a big fan of the stream.
Yeah?
First time, long time listener, third time caller.
Yeah, I mean, we have like a weekly show together that, well, it's not super weekly. It's a little inconsistent, but
I think we'll be back soon.
Yeah, me too.
Josh Allen and a SoFi commercial. I saw a whole partnership going on. I love it. My post, actually, when I posted that, got like 1,000 likes. So I'm a fan of it.
All right. Is he as big of a deal as everyone's making it out to be?
He's like one of the best quarterbacks. Yeah, he actually really is.
But what about his social media presence? Like, do you think that him at like, also, this is what I think is the part that I always struggle with is like, if he's super popular, they're just going to pay a lot. Like, so does it really matter?
Sydney Sweeney, this whole thing, sometimes 1 + 1 = 10. Josh Allen isn't quite like the superstar there, but there might be a potential for him to kind of like lean up there. He married Haley Steinfeld, the whole Sinners meme that went around. You never know. I feel like he's one of those people on the rise.
I genuinely don't even know what you're talking about. That was all gibberish. But Haley Steinfeld's?
Yeah, Steinfeld. I don't know. She's a singer. She was also in like all of the Marvel movies and stuff.
Oh.
very popular.
I got to do better.
Listen, we got a little. Listen, we're playing like, I don't know, a cutesy game or whatever. It's not stocks, but Josh Allen is a good guy. I'm a fan.
So you were at the Hood event.
I was at the Hood event. I was lucky enough to meet the great and powerful Tanner.
Dude, I had a blast. It was a ton of fun. You know,
I really enjoyed it. Robinhood puts on a good event. There was some stuff that we were like whatever on, but the core of it, Robinhood knows how to put on a good event. We were talking with the team. We really didn't know anything that was coming into this, and I actually genuinely enjoyed that a lot. I was sitting on the stream just learning new stuff and like, wow, that's interesting. And transparently, when you're there, just the energy is so good. Anything they announce, the crowd goes wild, and it's just like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. And then you sit back and you're like, okay, is it how interesting is what or whatever we'll end up seeing? But they're really good at putting on a good event, getting the hype, getting the excitement. I made sure to stay away as far away as possible from Amit and Tanner because I'm a quiet guy. I just want to be able to hang out, and they were getting mobbed, and it was really awesome to just see everyone coming up to them and showing the love. And clear guys, they just got into the S&P 500, so it was good vibes. Yeah, I thought it was a well put together event. They are clearly trying to ramp up on them. Like they said, they want to do 3,000 next year, and we were kind of talking about how much this event cost. I think they spent like 5 million on it, maybe 10. So what's the ROI on that? We'll see.
Who knows? But I think just in general, the stock moves so much on these product announcements that alone, I think, is making it worthwhile for them. Their shareholders wouldn't want that to stop. But I appreciate you putting me and Amit in the same category of getting mobbed. It was like he was getting mobbed and I was holding his purse. And
that is what happened. No, transparently, I definitely did see that. But there's levels to it. But Tanner, there was
this game.
But Tanner, there's another level between you and a lot of the other people as well, I will say. And honestly, I just enjoy the stream. So I'll shut up. If you guys are watching this and you're not liking the stream or subscribe to the channel, you are completely missing out.
Okay, but dude, I want to hear about the more like controversial products that they put out. What did you think? So I look to you a lot whenever I'm looking for advice, like not like just around social media. You understand the game so well. What did you think about Robinhood Social? Is this going to take people away from X or StockTwits or any of these platforms? Like, I didn't really get your take on Robinhood Social, and yet that's probably the product that you have by far out of anyone in that room the best experience for.
Yeah, I need to understand more what their goal is with it. If it's to like, okay, do they want to make money on this product? It's been a very struggling thing to do, but when you have portfolio information, advertising, you can get the highest advertising dollars. If Robinhood wanted to, they could create a multi-billion-dollar ad-supported social media platform. I don't know if they want to do that. I don't know if regulatorily they can do that. But to me, that's a very interesting concept. What I think is probably going to end up happening is this is a more of a trying to get people to spend more time on the app type of thing and increase the time that is being spent there. I think that X and Spaces and what they did to Clubhouse is a really good example of this. Whereas if having the user base is the most important thing, and you can build stuff off of that, like Robinhood Gold, they can go in and let you go in and sell mortgages and stuff like that and use third parties. That really does apply to this. Yeah. They probably will kill a StockTwits and a couple of these other ones. It seems like they're in the early days of maybe going after an autopilot and that kind of nascent industry. So my first reaction was, damn, I have to post on another platform now. I think it gives them a lot of optionality. And does X run this in the best way? I don't think so. I think there's an opportunity there. I just don't know what their vision is at this point in time.
Yeah, it is interesting. But like Moomoo, eToro, Weeble, like they all do something like this. I just wonder, like, how
Public used to do it. I think, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that one before.
I think they still do. No,
I think they moved away from it a little bit, but The truth
I
is,
mean, that's
though,
not a good sign.
are well, are any
SoFi
of
does
those the
it.
ones that are any of those the ones that like I don't know, like they haven't really all taken off. So clearly, Robinhood has to do something slightly different. But I just don't know if they regulatorily can do this. If you have information on people's portfolio, that is worth a lot of money, and there is definitely a negative way you can go in and do that. But you can also supply someone they're in something, and you could show them an ETF that has better performance at a lower risk in the same area, and you can really kind of push people towards better areas. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential value in it, but this also could just be a side project that they just were like, hey, this is what we launched with. Wouldn't it be awesome if we brought it back? And then it's just a thing on the side. It
That's
has the
what
potential to be a big business, I believe.
That's what I read into it as. Like, I was like, okay, this is a side business. They're just working on this as a side project. And then I heard from a bunch of people that this was like what they were aiming to be their key product launch during the event. And I was like, oh, like, I don't think it's going to be that. I hope it is. I hope that's what short selling is, or, some of these overnight index options or something. But
first of all, the applause thing, there was no way that the one that they said won was the loudest applause.
no.
And maybe with short selling, there was just no way.
There was one where I think they were adjusting the gain because the first one was just like full bars, and I don't think that they wanted that. So I think they tuned it down. So if you watch the next one, it was like almost dead. But in the room, like I was in the room, it sounded the exact same. So I don't know. Who cares? But anyway, they all will be coming regardless.
So another potential business that I have been screaming at X to do, companies spend hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on investor relations, getting people to view earnings calls. That is a really large business. People like in getting their message out there. X is the perfect platform for that because that's where the people are. We can be hosting earnings calls on Spaces. You can create a company profile where then I can go in and buy a blue check mark. Those blue check marks are the people who can ask questions on calls. There's change coming to these earning call situations.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a platform with a mass amount of users. Maybe Robinhood wants to go after that. That is $1 billion business. Maybe it's like a $500 million business. I don't necessarily know. And I don't know all the regulatory stuff. One thing I've learned with Robinhood, the further I get in, the more you see all the regulatory concerns and what you think could happen versus what is like actually going to happen are two different things. So
I'm going to throw them under the bus. The ARC people said that the Robinhood Social thing was $1 billion a year business for them. I was like, have you guys lost your mind? Like, what products from Robinhood are $1 billion businesses? Crypto, options. You're going to throw Robinhood Social in that list? Like, I don't know. But
so my question would be, how many users does X have and what's its valuation? And if we scale it down to the amount of Robinhood users, what is that valuation? What happens if all those X users are concentrated in the US and in the finance space?
Yeah, but the problem is who wants to just see my category of news is mainly finance. But during the Charlie Kirk situation, I was updated on that news also on X. Are you allowed to post that on Robinhood Social? Right now, they said you cannot make any comments without putting a trade beside it. Imagine you're trying to update people on serious situations that are happening around the world, or putting your opinion on something, but you have to include a stock ticker. I mean, that seems kind of gross. Like,
I agree.
I
don't.
Yeah.
Go.
No, I just don't. I think the embedded part saying like on X, this is why I'm doing this. This is my case for this stock. And if you want, I've included this embedded link to Robinhood to verify that I've purchased this. Just to say, it's almost like a blockchain or like a blue check mark to say, hey, I have purchased this. You can go through and check it out. But I'm still going to have the discussion in the comments on a new social platform or on X, the main social platform. Sorry. Or on Threads or whatever, I don't care. But that's where I think the majority of people will be.
I think it is a fair answer for sure. I would point to like the stock twits of the world. I don't know if they've quite reached StockTwits might have a crazy valuation, but I don't think it's quite $1 billion.
Dude,
So,
I'm a huge finance guy. I do not use StockTwits or care about it at all. Do you?
StockTwits, no, but StockTwits is, I'm sorry if any of you guys use StockTwits in here and I offend you, it's a boomer platform. And they're trying to get down to people our age. It's a boomer
That
platform.
is our that should be the #1 platform we all spend our time on, and no one does. Maybe some people do in the chat, I don't know, but like I sure don't. And it never feels good, and I feel like it's so toxic on there. Like anytime I see I'll see one stock get posted and everyone's like just says the worst things about how terrible of a stock. Like I don't know, it's just I feel like people are actually trying to affect stock prices via their opinion on those apps. And I think so like Robinhood Social will be the same, where I find X or Threads or these sort of things are like more constructive conversations.
Hope isn't for you has a good point. Tanner is a boomer though.
Was I the youngest person in the group?
How old are you? I might be younger than you. I'm
Actually, you
27.
might be. Yeah, I think you actually are. I
All
always
right, you
get
27 too?
confused because, sorry,
How old are you?
27
Okay, I was born in June.
October.
Oh, yeah, so second youngest, old man.
Okay, let's see. Doesn't that make you older than me?
Wait, you're right. I am dumb. All right, it's Friday night. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is October 17th your birthday, or is that Paul's
It is.
birthday?
I got freaked out by that when I saw it. But it is.
Sorry, it's Friday night.
Yeah, Evan's an old man. No, the investing is an old man game. The content creation side around it has leaned younger for sure. But
I am super. I am a content creator. When I come on here and I am going to give you my in-depth take about a limited amount of stocks because I am not putting in the time and effort, and I respect the market so aggressively that you guys can beat the market. You just got to respect it and put the time in, and Tanner's clearly doing that, and a lot of the chat is as well.
well, let me get your
SoFi.
take on two stocks, and then I'll let you go.
What are we doing? Hit me.
BMNR.
Bang. We're up 15%. Like I don't know what you're supposed to say in that area. My general thesis around it, I'm sure you've heard everyone talk about this in different ways. Cryptocurrency has always been viewed for it's always been the technology is sound, but what's the use case? And with these stablecoin bills, it feels like that first use case is actually starting to happen. And for some reason, when we transact online, we've been okay with there being fees up to X percentage a point, X percentage, 3-5%, whatever it is. And if you can create efficiencies for every single company across the board of 3 to 5%, 1 to 3%, whatever that fee is, that is quite aggressive value. Now, you can ask if that's going to be Ethereum or if that's going to be whatever. But to me, those stable coins is something that I'm very much watching now. And that disruption period feels like it has actually entered into within 2 to 5 years. There's also this tokenization thing and everything like that. So yeah, to me, the underlying layer ones, that network is really a lot of value is being created there. I think it's Ethereum. You know, that you could look at it for the downtime. You could be it's just the one that everyone has started to coalesce around. So if it doesn't get knocked off, like what's going to happen? But yeah, and I think the question is why BMNR and why a treasury company? Now, for me personally, and this might just be a moment in time, me being from New York, I can't stake my Ethereum. So there's an instant 3% yield I get on top of what I would be able to do by holding a treasury company. And there are certain sophisticated things that they can go in and do, but any treasury company can go in and do that. And I don't know. I wonder if at one point there will only be like 1 or 2 treasury companies and we're going to go full circle and everyone just holds the actual underlying asset. Like maybe they probably should. But it feels like there's a moment in time here where people like me, institutions are not allowed to hold Ethereum. The ARK Invest example, they are not allowed to hold Bitcoin or Ethereum. so they have to hold IBIT or treasury companies. So that's kind of where the MNAV comes in, and you can get a little bit of value above it. You dilute to get up to 5%. I really like that BMNR is not going into debt. I feel like that creates a certain overhead. I really like that they're not getting as complicated as MicroStrategy is with it. It's quite simple. I really like that there's an end goal. We're getting to 5%, not diluting endlessly to get to a certain level. And clearly there's a Tom Lee premium that while water is wet, while water is warm, I feel like it's going to be in there. So I believed in Ethereum in this. And
I think that's fair, man. Like, I think even past that, like, it's not just about the New. I keep hearing the New York thing come up, but I don't even really think it's that. I mean, I could never have acquired the amount of Ethereum that they have over the course that they did while keeping the price the same. I mean, it's like their book value has just exploded, you know, and my ability to purchase it has gone way, way down if you're talking about a multiple of NAV. So also, did you just turn 27 in June?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're younger. Sorry. I got confused. I was thinking we had the same year or birth year, but then yours was in June. Never mind. You're younger.
So my math was only partially dumb. I still did the math wrong for the record because I thought we were in the same year. So it doesn't save me from being stupid. The other stock is Apple, though?
Apple.
Okay.
What did you think just mainly about the iPhone 17? By the way,
So
I didn't mind it.
You didn't mind it? Okay.
I think
I
the
don't have a
Air
great
is
answer
the
for
worst
you on this
decision of
one.
ever, but yeah.
So Apple is really great at creating a tier where they get you in the door, and then like for a little bit more, you can climb up the ladder, or it's like you get more RAM, and then you're up $100, and by that point you're at the better model. So just get the better model, and then now you need more storage. So you get the better model with more storage, and now you're kind of at that Air. There is a linkage in the ecosystem that they've tried to fill with the SE, with all this other stuff. Nothing has worked. So the Air is the latest example of that.
How?
I don't know. So
my understanding is that the base iPhone is, I forget the price, but it's a lower price than the Air, and then the Pro in the Air is the same price.
No, the Pro is $100 more than the Air, I believe.
Or the Air and the regular phone is the same price. It's the same price as one of the models.
For you. So the iPhone 17 starts at $799, the Air starts at $999, the iPhone Pro starts at $1,100, and the $1099, and then the iPhone 17 Pro Max starts at $1,199. So it is $200 more than the regular iPhone. And the truth is, the regular iPhone is probably better and cheaper.
It is, and like it is just better, like spec wise, because they had to downgrade a lot of the specs to fit it into a small frame.
Apple has not quite found this area yet. They've tried the SE and gone cheaper, and it didn't really work that well. I feel like they had another one semi-recently that's slipping my mind.
Well, there was a small one that I really liked because I think like that actually fits a like there's a market for like.
I actually bought that one.
Yeah, like there are people that prefer a smaller device, but a thinner device. I've never heard that complaint. Like, oh, today's smartphones are too thick. I've never heard that.
Some people like the thick phones, Yeah,
but I do think some people will buy the Air. Like, I think it's still like a phone that like, oh, it's a little different. It's worth it. It's lighter, whatever. But I think you're also going to see videos of like people having it in their back pocket, sitting down, and it just bending because it's thin as ever, and that's why they don't make those thin phones. Like, if
that happens, then this is just going to look really dumb, and then people are just going to say what they've always said about Apple of. Whatever. There's no innovation there, but hey, maybe this is a great phone, and maybe it's durable, and we'll see. And I saw something that they're like, this is one step towards our vision of the phone only being glass. Like, there's no thing around it. It's literally just a glass panel. So maybe it's that. I don't know. Listen, the Air is the Air. We know where Apple's at. For me, it's like.
Hello?
No, yeah, sorry. I was trying to gather my thoughts there. For me, the Air is just not. Yeah, it just wasn't it. I guess they are trying to find their spot in there. I I have to go back through and listen to the full keynote. Transparently, this is one of the craziest weeks of my life, so I didn't get to sit down, and this was the same day as the iPhone event, so I haven't gotten to hear everything that was going on with it. The Air does not seem like it's, though. I was watching a Marquez Brownlee video, and he had some positive-ish things to say about it. I don't see how this could be a durable product. But if it is, maybe there's something there. I don't know. But it clearly has to be cheaper than the iPhone 17. And we'll see what the Gen 2 is. Apple seems to be having a problem with Gen 1 versions of products being too expensive. The Vision Pro was way too expensive. This is too expensive. I don't know. It's not the best sign. But we had this whole debate. No one's moving over to Google phones. No one's moving over to these other ones. The phone form right now is Apple's. And to me, that next form factor, which Mark Zuckerberg is really making and probably leading with, that's what scares me more about Apple than Google coming in and taking our lunch.
I was talking with an Apple employee whenever we were at the Hood Summit, and he said that the problem that Mark's going to have with the glasses is that all the processing power of the AI models is going to have to happen in the frames of the glasses. Where if Apple or Google got into that industry, the processing power would happen on the phone and Bluetooth would transmit the answer to the glasses.
That's interesting.
And I thought that was a great answer. You know, so it gives an advantage to the companies that also have existing hardware on other devices.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I don't know. I think Apple, we're in the world of smartphones having incremental innovation. It's not really just Apple. It's happening with everyone. They're 1 to 2 cycles behind. They're building up the services base. If you can be the device that every rich person in the world handles on, and you can continuously create better services and slightly grow your ecosystem, I get why people don't want to. I get why growth investors don't want to own this stock. But I still think it will be fighting for one of the largest companies in the world until that next form factor is coming in. But
yeah,
I want to say this again. If you were watching this, I'm about to hop off. I love these things with Tanner. Just going with the chat. You guys should be subscribed. When you are subscribed to someone with the bell button, it shows you whenever they stream, and you should be watching more of Tanner's streams.
Appreciate you, Evan. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks. Everyone, check him out. I'm going to add Evan's Twitter or X here in chat. This is the official guy, by the way. Yes, he has 636,000 followers, and he came to join us in between his very busy schedule. So make sure, I'm sure all of you guys are already following him, but if you're not, you check out Stock Market News on X. But ladies and gentlemen, I just got called by the great and powerful Stephen Fiorillo. So I got to call him back. Don't want to make sure I miss his call and see what he's up to, because clearly he needs to. Stephen.
What are you doing?
I'm on stream. What's up?
You're on stream?
Yeah, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 42 minutes.
You're a good role model.
What were you doing for the last 2 hours? Sleeping?
No, I'm watching TV.
Oh, you sound a little tired.
I'm exhausted. I had a long day.
Bro, I need your opinions on so many stocks I haven't talked in a while. What did you think about Oracle?
That I called the fucking bottom.
Okay. What did you think about the remaining performance obligations?
Bullish NVIDIA. I wrote about it today.
Okay, nice. But
I sent you the article. I mean, I put the whole thing about Oracle in there.
I've been live all day, bro. I'd have no time.
You said you've been live for 2 hours and 42 minutes. That's hardly all day.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just didn't get a chance to read it. I didn't have a real excuse. So, what's up?
Nothing. Are you coming on tonight or what?
If we're doing something, what do you want to do?
Well, if you looked at the freaking group text, I mean, we've been trying to get your attention.
I've been live since 6.
How am I supposed to know this?
go on YouTube and you watch the daily live streams that we do every day, and you join in the chat. You have fun. You get to learn. You get to join in the conversation. You might even find a pick or two that you like.
I get to learn. Pretend you didn't say that.
Who convinced you to buy Nvidia?
I convinced myself to buy Nvidia.
Seems like you made a fortune from somebody consistently saying how good that business is.
I convinced myself to buy it off of my research, but I've always said that you were very correct, and you were the first person on this that I know.
Appreciate you. Now,
Do I not always say that?
I know, dude. You get all the credit. I think you're the man.
I always say that you were the first one on Nvidia, and you were very right on it, even when the numbers were not nearly as good as what the stock was doing. So,
yeah. So, what is the chat saying? What did you come here to call me about?
no, I was calling you to see if you're coming on tonight or not, because nobody can get in touch with you.
Yeah, but what's the plan? Are we doing what time?
10 o'clock.
This is Steve's ex, by the way. This is who I'm talking with. Dividend streams, but he's been betting on all the growth companies lately.
Oh, by the way, did you go to dinner with Amit?
Yes, but don't say any names. Don't say any
I'm
names.
not saying any names. Why would I say any names? I got beef with you.
Okay.
How on earth could you allow him and anybody else? I'm not going to call anybody out, because I know exactly why you don't want me saying names. But anybody who was at that dinner, I have beef with. Because how could you allow him to cook a steak that well done?
Bro, that steak was like...
And why didn't you take the hat off his head?
The steak that he had, that he overcooked like that, was like $200.
Where'd you guys go?
Delilah, Wynn Hotel.
I'm so annoyed that everybody there allowed him to do that. It's horrible.
The music was so loud in the thing. They had like live music going. I didn't even hear him order it. You want to know the worst part? I didn't even get a steak.
What'd you got?
A sea bass.
And what type of restaurant was it?
I don't know.
I've never been there, so that's why I'm asking before I make a comment.
I don't know. I don't think they're exclusively a steak. I did eat a lot of steak, because there was like, we ordered this insane like Wagyu tomahawk for the
Okay, so you did. So it's not like you just ordered a fish dish. You also had steak also.
Yeah. I just didn't want to order a steak because there was steak coming to the table anyway.
Gotcha. I get that.
Yeah. But it it was awesome. Place was great.
Did you see the picture that I put on X about the steak I got with Matt?
Yeah, dude, it looked fine.
Right? I don't get it. I've gone a few times with Amit, and I don't understand how people can enjoy a steak that's just gray. It's crazy.
Did you see, really quick, did you see my tweet about the Robinhood Summit? Did you hear that they introduced shorting for stocks?
No, I don't. You got to remember something. I don't really read X that much.
Yeah, that's fair. But do you know that they allow people to start shorting stocks now?
No, I do not.
What percentage of the market do you think that open? Like, how bullish is that for you?
I don't know. What's the model behind it? It's like an option contract where they're getting where you have to pay a fee, or is it just same thing as a regular trade where it's payment for order flow?
I assume it's payment for order flow. They didn't announce that. That might be on the investor relations, but that wasn't during the product event. But
I think it's dangerous for investors especially if it's as easy as what the Robinhood app is. I think it's very dangerous for investors, but I think it ultimately will drive revenue higher. But it really depends on how it's structured. But I don't know.
So
Depending on how easy it is.
bro, and I'm not joking here. This is what they did. So they did a whole live stream about it. They showed off shorting, and as an example to short a stock, they shorted SoFi.
Oh, that's so savage.
Isn't that funny?
So savage.
So it's on. I think Anthony Nota's going to hit back, but yeah.
Okay, but once again, how does it work? Like, when you short it, technically your downside is unlimited.
Yeah.
So does it work the typical way that a short works?
I don't know, bro. I have no idea because to me, like I've never shorted anything, so it seemed too easy. Like, how does the borrowing work? Like, I don't understand how you go and get shares from another like, is it all done on the background? Well, I mean, obviously it is, but like, I don't understand how any of that works. Where does the premium come from? Like, don't you need to pay someone for borrowing their shares?
I've never shorted a stock, so I understand the concept. I understand how to do it, but I don't exactly know how it works. I've never looked into it too much. I mean, and plus, the bigger thing to me is when you short a stock, your downside is unlimited if it goes the wrong way. So my thing is, if you want to bet against a company, just buy puts, because at least you can only lose what you're buying on the put contract.
Yeah, but I even wonder how that works. Like, do they almost margin call you if the short goes down too much, or do they start sending you bills? Like, I don't know how that works.
I mean, I would think that if you have equities in the account, they could force you to sell off part of positions in order to cover what you owe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not something for me, so I'm not even going to bother looking into it. It's like playing the don't pass at the craps table. It's just like, I don't know.
No, I'm not.
Juju. Don't do it.
I'm not looking to short anything. I'm just happy that they added it. If, like, I'm aware it could be risky for retail investors, but retail investors could go to Schwab or Thinkers. I'm sure they all offer it. So, like, either they were going to.
But depending on how easy it is, I'm just saying that I think people may look at it without realizing the implications. It's a lot different when you buy puts.
But you're just talking about disclosures. You're just talking about disclosures, though. Like, that could be added.
I'm just saying, I think it's very risky to short companies. That's all.
I'm hearing in chat, or this is just a commenter in chat saying, yeah, there is fees for the premium, and that they would get margin called. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, not for me.
Yeah. All right, brother. I will. Yeah, I'll let you go. And cool.
Well, you're a good role model. Are you going to come at 10 o'clock, or are you going to go get in the sauna?
I might have a sauna. I got to do.
You're so ridiculous.
What?
I mean, what?
Got to stay happy, healthy. I haven't eaten a thing, so I want to go get some dinner as well.
So this means that you're quitting the 10 o'clock show.
Tevis did it first.
Are you both quitting?
No, I'm not quitting. He's just unavailable, so I'd rather do it tomorrow. It's not like quitting.
He's in Europe.
Oh, I thought he was just busy today.
Isn't he like freaking on vacation or something?
I don't know.
I thought he was on vacation. I don't.
I just got a comment in my chat that says, see you at 10. I've got no choice.
You have no excuse. You don't be a quitter.
No,
actually, you know what? Be a quitter. Me and Roy will hang out.
Okay. All right. I will talk with you tomorrow. And let's get an old-fashioned podcast going, man. Let's stop this phone up to the mic crap. I want to actually like sit with you and talk about all the stocks that we've been into. Let's do an old-fashioned video.
When?
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow is going to be difficult.
Sunday.
Sunday I can do. Tomorrow it would have to be late night. 'Cause I'm leaving around noon. I'm not going to be back until probably 10 or 11. So, yeah, Sunday's much better for me.
Okay, let's do Sunday then.
All right, come up with some topics.
I will. I'm the great interviewer.
Yeah, you're great at freaking getting in the sauna.
The other day he called me. I was in the sauna and he just kept talking. And I was like, Steve, I got to be honest. I'm at that point where I'm like, I can't even hear you anymore. Things are getting difficult.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
What do you mean? That's what you do. You get your body goes into like survival.
Oh my God. Are you on nootropics yet?
No. I mean, nootropics is a blanket.
That did not sound convincing.
That's like a blanket.
Taking that stuff?
That's a blanket word for anything that like affects your brain. So, not really. No. But like, have I tried like lion's mane and stuff like this? I mean, yeah, but I don't really find any of it works.
Oh my God.
Someone said I wear socks on the sauna. That's funny. I'm not even wearing socks now. I don't wear socks. The Airbnb people that I shared with can attest. Amit will tell you I'm not a sock guy.
Why would you get an Airbnb?
It was actually good. Yeah, I mean, Evan was there. I'm not a sock guy.
Wait, so hold on a second. Where did you go that you got an Airbnb?
Las Vegas.
Okay, that's what I thought. Why on earth would you get an Airbnb in Vegas and not stay at Caesars or something?
Dude,
where you can just. What's wrong with you people?
We didn't think long and hard about it. I honestly think the hotels would have been fine, but I think we thought we would have been in the Airbnb a lot longer, and we would have been able to have.
No, but okay, hold on a second. I'm not letting you go yet. Airbnbs are ridiculous, especially in Vegas. You stay at Caesars or you stay at freaking the Bellagio, and you have all the food options. You have room service. You have the casino. Zero reason to stay at an Airbnb.
So
like, what's wrong with you people?
So okay, there was a reason to stay at the Airbnb, and that was for content.
Oh, this should be good.
Content.
Content. Get a suite. Do content there.
Yeah, but that's the exact same thing as the casino, and none of us gamble. Or sorry, same thing as the Airbnb, and none of us gamble. Like, we don't care about the casino.
Airbnb is secluded and by itself. Casino has everything. Go to the bar, you can go to the restaurant, go to the casino.
We just drove. We had a car. It was fine.
Oh my God, so ridiculous.
It was a great time. You're not going to take it away from me. I had fun.
I don't understand you people.
I had fun. Not going to listen to this. This is nonsense. Oh, you know why we did it too? You know why we did it as well? Because me and Evan own Airbnb shares, and we were supporting the stock. That's why. Okay. That's actually why. He reached out to me. He said we should do an Airbnb to pump the stock. I was like, all right, fair. Support the companies that you own. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, silence now because you agree.
No, I mean, I don't agree. I think it's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard, but okay.
All right, man.
Staying in Airbnb. Ridiculous.
Okay. Let's talk Sunday.
All right, I'll see you Sunday since you're quitting this Friday show. I'll let Roy know.
We will we'll talk AI and fintech and oil, whatever you're into.
Oil? What do you know about oil?
Nothing. I'm here to learn.
Oil.
What are you into? Baseball cards, oil, and dividends. I mean, it's boring, but I'll listen.
Dude, I'm into everything. What are you talking about? Crypto, growth, dividends, baseball card, you name it, I'm in it.
And honestly, that's what I want to talk about. BMNR, baby.
Listen, it's over 50 again.
Don't start a whole new conversation. We'll talk about it Sunday.
Ethereum to the moon.
I am pretty excited.
I'm sure you are. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya. Gosh forbid I said liquid natural gas. He would have freaking freaked out. Went on for a long time. Everyone is getting ETH pilled right now. Everyone. And Evan can attest to this. Everyone we talked to at the Hood Summit had BMNR. So many people were saying it was in their portfolio. I want to do a poll with you guys. What percentage of you guys are in BMNR? Hold on. We're going to do a poll. And just be honest. I'm not looking for to sway the answer to any sort of opinion. Do you own BMNR? Do you own BMNR stock? Yay or nay? Just be honest. If you tell the truth, no one can I don't know. Right now, 62% say yes. 60%. Yeah, I mean, these are fair. That's fair. Answers now. In YouTube, you got a mobile device, you got a laptop, personal computer, iPad, wherever you are. Go to the chat. Tell me whether you own BMNR. Looks to be a 60-40 split. I mean, that's one ticker, ladies and gentlemen. That's one ticker. I'm sure we could find a few names during this stream that would be higher than that. Hood, SoFi, I mean, that's why you guys are here. BMNR, we're at a 63 to 37% chance. That is, wow. ETH machine. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it really is beneficial for the big names because they get the multiple. And then if you have a big multiple, then you can actually acquire more ETH. So it's one of those weird Ponzi type amazing products that exists in these ETH treasuries or Bitcoin treasuries. All in at the $40 ranges. I mean, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. James Haywood said, we still talking about stake? I mean, yeah, we dabble in stake, but all right. 63 to 37%. Wow. Hey, what's the red flag that you put in the title? Hood's member growth went down month over month, and their net deposits were not as much as people thought. Now, the growth on users was mainly due to an escheatment rule, which means they were extremely low balance, zero activity accounts that had to be taken off the platform or charged a rate. Which was a lot of people. My BMNR average is 42.72. Congratulations. Don't say Ponzi. Yeah. My bad. But it is just it's an interesting business model you don't often see. Would you also do SBET? I do own SBET, but I have not added to it since. So not only was it gifted in the community portfolio, I purchased it in my own portfolio as well. But I've been buying BMNR because I think it's one of those industries where being the top player, and it could be SBET. SBET could be the big player. But right now, Tom Lee is a powerful force. What percentage of BMNR would you hold? Well, I mean, you're just asking me what you should hold. And I don't know your your risk tolerance, your need for the money, anything like that. So I'm going to refrain from giving an answer. Yeah. Okay. Tom Lee, protect that man. Yeah, he's great. In the future, can we do Paramount Skydance? I mean, it's not out of the picture. It's quite interesting. I don't own any of the names in the media space, but that is definitely an interesting one. Okay, let's see. Why BMNR? Why not invest in ETH? Well, it's just the rate at which they can acquire ETH is much faster than me. So, in July they had like, I forget how much. It was not a lot of ETH. And now they're just stacking billions. So, yeah. Will PayPal ever stop hurting me? I don't know, man. PayPal or like payments is a weird space. And yeah, it is a weird space. Okay. What platform does Tom Lee use to buy ETH? Well, he doesn't say, but I'm sure it rhymes with Schmoinbase. I don't know. Coinbase is the big player in America for all institutional buying through Coinbase Prime. So that could be up there, but they don't talk about their style of purchase. They don't say how they acquire Ethereum. They say it's proprietary. Yeah. And I think that's also part of the reason why I like BMNR as well, is that not only do they have a way to leverage and acquire ETH better than me, but they also have a much cheaper way of acquiring Ethereum and get better yield than I would as well. So, yeah. Coinbase is awful. I mean, I'm going to do a deep dive one of these days, so, you could skip that episode, but I don't think they're as awful as you make it out to be. I love the management. I love the engineering team. Yeah. He has Robinhood on his fund. He should be using Robinhood. I mean, Robinhood institutional clients are probably not even integrated with Robinhood right now. It's probably just still through Bitstamp. I would venture a bet that is not something that they're heavily promoting right now, but who knows? Okay. Any thoughts on ONDS? The only thoughts I have is that Michael gave me 2 shares of it earlier. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. But aside from that, no, I just found out about it. What happened with Octo? I lost some money there, but it's no longer traded in Hood. It's because the ticker symbol changed. So it is still trading. It's just got a new ticker. So let's go take a little peek-see. It's now under a ticker called Orbs, based on the WorldCoin eye scanning device. So yeah, they're up 7% today. And if we just scroll back a little bit, they're not at the crazy price that they accelerated to, but they're not, doing terrible. They're doing quite fine. And Tom Lee has still made a fortune off this. So yeah. Orbs. My dog is freaking out. She's wondering why I'm live streaming for 3 hours. Up. Come on. Up. Hey, up. Thank you. What's up, girl? Hi. Say hi. Don't like me. But yeah, so why don't we end it there? We've been live streaming for 3 hours, and I'm going to go get some food and get in the sauna later, take care of my dog, let her outside. Yeah. And that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time, and bye for now.